Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to another week of Straight to the Point Sports. Flanked here by D-Con, Derek Consatio, and my man Jonathan Nobre back for week 2.
Thanks for having me again.
I don't know if I want you, though. Not this week anyways, but we'll just deal with it, I guess.
Hey, we're in the middle of a lot of stuff, man. The playoff picture starting to tighten up. I'm sure being Detroit and Minnesota fans will have a lot to talk about that game.
Two great teams.
Both games that our teams played in ended up being better than, we'll get into that. But the bowl game started. But before we get into the bowl games, fellas, sometimes life happens and, takes a bigger stage. The Sugar Bowl that's being played right now in New Orleans was interrupted due to a tragedy with a terrorist attack is what they're calling it. As far as I know, 15 people have been declared dead. Truck drove in and fired into an open crowd, and they didn't think it was going to be safe conditions. When I saw that, I was kind of shocked. I didn't even know that things, we are still being targeted like that.
Crazy. And honestly, I seen one of them. One of the people that had passed happened to be a former college football player. I meant to take.
Oh, I didn't see nothing about who.
I don't remember the name, and I don't remember this. He's fairly young, light skinned, black.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, they drove right into a busy Bourbon Street, right?
Yeah.
And with a truck, and then just started opening fire. Yeah. Multiple other people are injured, but right now the death is up to 15 confirmed dead. Yeah. There's several others that are hurt.
80. There was
80. Yeah, but they're saying they might still find people scattered. They might have crawled off some, but at first it said 10, then it said 12. By last night, it was up to 15. I haven't seen nothing today that added to that number. But no matter what, the game takes a back seat when stuff like that happens, an issue of national security. So our hearts and thoughts go out to everybody involved in the city of New Orleans. The game was canceled, and rightfully so. Not canceled, postponed, but it's going on right now.
20-3.
Well, it was 3-3 when I left here. Who's up?
Notre Dame.
Oh, well.
That's not what we
might
expected.
be 2 for 2.
Didn't I pick Notre Dame?
I might be 2 for 3.
I picked Notre Dame because I don't believe in Georgia with their backup quarterback.
2 for 3.
But it was 3-3 at halftime. How much time left in the game, Derek?
12:02 in the third. So
wait a minute.
It's a lot of time.
Oh no, I was just saying I could have sworn it was like almost halftime when I left.
It was halftime when I left. It was 3-3.
That's a long halftime. We've been down here setting up and stuff.
Let me go to the live.
Refresh.
No, I'm gonna go to the live game. But yeah. That's crazy.
But anyway, in spite of everything that happened last night, they rescheduled for today at 4:00. The game's currently going on. Hopefully we'll have an update when it goes final. But it looks as of right now like Notre Dame's surprising people. And last week when I picked Notre Dame and you were clowning me about them losing to the low level, I said, I think that might have been a wake-up call. Though they didn't play the best schedule,
right.
They weren't going to underestimate anybody any further.
I mean, I think talent is talent and coaching is coaching. You know what I mean? Like I said, a lot of the teams that are in now, they all have a lot in common with they pound. They have control of the offensive, defensive line. And, it was quarterback play was my assessment, but we'll see.
And with Carson Beck not playing, and you asked him to back up Stockton, he's played well in spot, but now they got a little bit of film on him. Just like every new quarterback comes in, you don't know how to prepare. Now they knew, and he doesn't have the experience.
That's true.
They looked all right in the first half. I saw him hit some downfield passes and, a few other things. But I didn't know if he'd be consistent throughout the entirety of the game. And according to what Derek just said, that's what it seems is going on right now.
It might be a little bit bigger for him than it.
Right. We don't know how he's going to survive under the pressure. So, there's a lot of time left in that game. But, fellas, what about yesterday's game? Did we expect that? No. I wasn't expecting Arizona State to stay close.
That was a shocker. That was a big shocker.
And
Texas was running away with it for a little bit.
Their defense was putting the clamps on the running back.
Yeah, Scatterball, right?
Yeah.
Nobody can stop me. Like you were stopped.
He was stopped in the first half.
Yeah,
but then in the second half,
he worked out.
He did. It was a tale of two different games for him.
It sure was. Well, he had like 4 more quarters to work with too.
Well, they started using him in different capacities. They started throwing him the
Oh,
ball.
That was a
He
dime.
threw
That
the
was crazy.
ball.
That dime
And
was
now
crazy.
it wasn't just we're expecting him to go up the middle.
Yeah.
I think they were keen on him saying,
He caught a
show us
couple
another way to
passes.
beat us.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. It ended up being 13-3 at the half.
Oh,
I don't know. I know I left and there was only a couple of minutes to
Yeah.
go when I came down here.
Same with me. Yeah, they
so a field goal.
they kicked the field goal with 39 seconds to make it 6-3, and then somehow got the ball. They must have onside kick, got the ball back, and then scored a touchdown.
That's crazy.
You don't have to declare in college, so you can use the element of surprise. So maybe
Yeah,
that
and then scored a touchdown going into the half, 13-3.
That's nuts.
And then they got a kick return for 98 yards to start off that third quarter. So there you go, 20-3.
Yeah, like that.
Just like that.
Like that.
That's crazy.
Sure is.
But
That's the excitement, college football playoffs, man. That's that energy.
Yep. So, but anyway, let's let this game play out a little bit. Maybe we'll have more definitive stuff to talk about. What was your take on how yesterday's game played out?
I mean, it was crazy at the end. It was weird. All kinds of, the refs bugging on both sides. I mean, the refs didn't handle it that well. I mean, it was a lot of, we could have complained on either side of which call decided the game or whatever. But I think it kind of got a little weirder even in the OT, both OTs.
Well, like I said, I think it was a tale of two halves. But Derek, did you expect Arizona State to be competitive based on what we saw in the other games?
honestly, I thought Texas would win by at least 2 scores.
I thought
My
Texas
opinion.
would have warmed down because of the
Yeah.
physical size advantage they
Yes.
had. They
Yes.
were bigger on the offensive and defensive line, and we know you can control the line of scrimmage.
Right.
That's the ball game right there.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I was
See
thinking.
nothing in the chat yet.
But
I was just looking to see if anybody was in the chat yet. But the physical superiority and the familiarity that Texas has been there before made me feel like the moment wouldn't be too big.
Mhm.
But I wasn't impressed with Quinn Ewers again.
No, yeah.
They ran good.
ever since he got injured and they had Manning for them couple of games, ever since he come back, he hasn't been the same.
You think he looks over his shoulder like if I make a mistake,
That's a good possibility but he has not been the same. So in the first few games, the kid looked like he was lights out.
Yeah.
Well, he did hook up with the wide receiver. What was the wide receiver's name for Texas? He was like their number one wide receiver yesterday. But they hooked up several times. And when he needed him down the stretch in the fourth quarter and overtime, they reemerged because he had a bigger contribution in the first half. Then the 2 running backs started running the ball a lot in the second half. But I felt like they got out to a fast start. They got ahead. And then I feel like they played not to lose, and that allowed Arizona State to keep plugging away. And then Arizona State scored right before the half, and then got the ball and scored in the second half.
Well, and then like you're saying, there was a key thing. There was a key thing that happened for Arizona. They had that the safety come back. He was
Yes, he was suspended for the first half of the game
targeting.
for targeting. And you know what else you got to give Arizona credit besides that? They were already without their number 1 wide receiver.
Yeah.
Their number 2 wide receiver was having a decent game.
Right.
He stepped up to play like a number 1, but it only makes me wonder if he would have had the leading wide receiver and that second wide receiver, that would have taken more. Maybe that's why Scatterbro took so long to get going, because they couldn't mix up the passing game and throw him off. It became a one-trick pony.
Right.
Texas was all over him in the first half,
Yeah.
So, but I definitely thought Texas was going to run roughshod over him watching the first half efforts. I feel like Arizona State had a motivational speaking to by their coaching staff in the locker room. Like, we didn't come this far to lose, and the game's not over. Let's stay in it. And to their credit, they made it more than a game. The second half,
that defense stepped up.
their defense stepped up.
Just
But I also think
suffocated them.
I feel like Texas took their foot off the gas pedal, man, and like,
I think
we're just gonna play conservative and not make no mistakes.
Yeah,
we're not gonna
we're
throw
up.
no more.
Yeah, what are they gonna do? Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Right back in it.
But they
that targeting call, that's like a focal point now. A lot of people think
Georgia just scored 20-10. I'm gonna be mad. Be mad just updated it as well.
oh, okay.
But
At least we
the-
know the streams are coming in.
Yeah,
What up,
but
B Mag?
I left the message. I left the post on yours, and it didn't come up.
I wonder if I'm not logged in or something, but we'll figure that out.
No, you have to be because you're on it. I seen it on your page.
Oh, I don't know. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. I even when I know, like Mag will say, no, everything's set up. I'll see the restream, but I won't see my page live. So I jump on either Brian's page or the station page or Derek's page and follow the comments since we all know a lot. But like when it's people that only know me in Connecticut, they don't know to jump on. They know to jump on the radio page right now, but
I get
they'll hit me after the show saying, yo,
Yeah.
I didn't see you on Facebook, you know.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just me because I just put it up on my page and it didn't angle and it's not coming up. So it don't matter. Whatever.
All right. Well, I just want to make sure if anybody's commenting, we're not missing no
Yeah,
comments.
maybe it's just me.
But anyway, I give credit to the whole Arizona coaching staff. You see, old friend Jake Plummer was there.
Yeah.
He contributed a lot to the confidence of their game planning because he molded that quarterback.
Yeah.
He was been pretty much, tutoring him this whole year. And he came out. And I heard Scatterbrew come out saying, I think I'm the best running back for the Heisman. But I didn't know the quarterback came out and said, I'm the best quarterback in this game and I'm going to prove it.
Yeah.
He did play well.
That receiver's name is Matthew Golden.
That's what I was just going to look for. Yep.
Yeah. Just
He had 7 for 149.
Right. But he had like 4 or 5 of them in the first half.
Yeah.
Then they went away from him for like the first quarter and a half of the second half. And then when they needed him, because remember, Arizona went ahead, they were one play away, or was that in overtime? They were one play away, and Texas had to convert to send it into overtime. Did Arizona State take the lead in regulation?
Yeah, let's put it this way.
They scored first in regular.
Yeah, but once
team.
it went to
No
overtime, they both had 2 possessions.
I want to say Arizona State missed the field goal to win it.
No, the opposite. Texas missed it because I remember
Yeah.
he was on the sideline. Texas missed the field goal
To win
and they won it to win it. They went into overtime. Arizona State scored. Texas scored. Then Texas got the ball first,
And Texas scored.
And right away. Then Arizona didn't.
Yeah. Arizona threw a pick.
But there
was a call. There was a
that
call
fourth
that saved them
quarter
on
in
fourth
overtime.
down. Texas. There was a call that saved them on fourth down.
But regardless, it played out great. The interest level in that game, I was excited about it. Like that was the only close game we had up to that point.
Yeah.
And I didn't expect that one to be close.
Yeah.
But Arizona State fought. And when they came in, the longer they got closer and stayed close, the more their confidence. I think they believed they could have won it. And Texas in that first overtime was down to 4th and 12.
Yeah.
And had to convert because Arizona had already scored.
Yeah.
And they all had the deer in the headlights. They were mystified after
right.
They started.
But that 4th and 12 call was perfect. A perfect pass. And I think it wasn't the tight end was the second one. The second one, now the other team gets the ball first. So after that happened, they switched directions and Georgia got the ball first. I'm sorry. Texas got the ball first.
They scored right away.
And they scored right away on the first play to that tight end and then got the 2-point conversion. So you have to go for 2 after the first overtime.
Oh, right.
So they went for 2 and got it. But then Arizona got the ball and was driving down, but they got picked off at the goal line, and that's how the game ended. But they were driving in position to score, but they still would have had to convert that 2-point conversion.
Right.
Now, my question is, there was a lot of controversy about Arizona State also not being on the level with Boise State and a couple others. Boise State's game was close to the end, and they just couldn't keep up at the end. But it ended up being like 31-13 or 31-14 or something. But the final scores, there was no close games. This was the first close game we saw.
Right.
Then, then we'll get into the other game. But before we do, what do you think about Arizona State now that we see them? Did they belong?
Yes.
I mean,
No,
they
definitely, yeah,
because
tougher than I expected.
because you know what is interesting to me? All the teams that they said should have made it in front of them and Boise State, and
lost.
they all lost. Alabama lost
Yeah.
to Michigan.
But-
Miami lost, which I don't agree with. You know what happened in Miami? You know what happened in
Yeah.
Miami?
The damn quarterback set up the whole second half.
He only played to get the record, the TD record.
that's
Then he
right,
took
yep.
himself out.
Yeah.
But it was that showed me a lot of selfish individual
Is
thinking.
is he trying to be eligible for the draft?
Yes.
He is. He's a senior. But he doesn't want to hurt his draft stock. It was important enough not to play to win, because if he would have stayed in the game, they would have won.
No,
They didn't score in the
I
second
get
half.
that, yeah.
He played the first half until he threw the touchdown pass that gave him the all-time record at Miami or something like that. He set some record.
Not just
Yeah.
Miami, Division One.
All right, but
I don't want
stayed
any
in for
part of
that
him.
individual accolade.
Yeah, if I'm in that,
That's a big red flag for me.
I don't want any part of him. That's crazy. That's nonsense.
He's gonna get drafted by Minnesota.
Yeah, right. We got two quarterbacks.
You
We'll
You
figure
hope,
that out
sir.
later.
But
He's going to Minnesota.
But also,
Golden Gophers.
what do you think about the draft stock of the running back we saw, Scatterboo? Do you think he's legit, and where do you think you see him getting drafted?
He's got some Swiss Army knife in him.
Yeah.
He
But if you're
can do
a
that
general-
gadget stuff. You know what I mean? He can catch.
Would you invest a first round pick in him?
First round, no.
High second
No,
round.
There's only
second
one. In my opinion, there's only one.
But
first
he said
round.
he's better than that first
There's
round.
only one first. And I'm just giving you my opinion.
I know. I'm just
There's only
playing
one
devil's
first-
advocate.
There's only one first
Who's
round
that?
pick.
That's the-
and
yeah.
Jansen.
That's the yeah.
And I
But-
think
but-
Jancy did it. He did it against Oregon.
Yeah.
He did it in this bowl game.
Yeah.
He had 134 yards.
They say-
And they said they bottled him up. He had 100. Scatterboo got bottled up too and ended up
Yeah.
with 138 or something like
Well,
that.
I think it was 149.
Yeah, well, something. But he
Crazy.
didn't have yardage in the first half. Then he broke
Exactly.
off a 33-yard
Right.
run and a 21-yard run in the second half, which helped build his numbers up a little better. But that was pretty amazing to me. But I do think he has a home, because remember, he's a lot bigger. He's more of a bowling ball power back. He's not. He got some elusiveness to him, but he's not as shifty as Genty or like a Jameer Gibbs or something like that.
Yeah.
He's gonna run you over.
Straight up and down.
Right.
Throw this up.
He's shorter and stronger, but I definitely feel like somebody will get a value for him if they take him late second round, early third round.
running backs aren't.
Usually they've been taking him in the third round
Yeah,
now,
they're not a gimme anymore. Like,
except for Gibbs when they moved up to take him.
they moved back.
Hmm?
They moved back so we had the number 6 pick that year, and we could have got Robinson, but we
Isn't
moved
that the year you took him and Jack, the
back. Yeah,
linebacker?
but we moved back.
Oh,
We had the
You-
number 6 pick. We picked him at number 12.
okay. I just know you had 2 picks in the first
Yeah.
round.
Yeah.
So, kudos to Arizona State University. You represented your team in your conference very well.
And nobody expected it.
And I give you credit. I give credit to the coaching staff, and it puts a little bit of a end to the myth of they didn't deserve to be there, along with some of these other teams. Hell, we saw the number 1 team in the country last night, leading into our next topic, get blown out when they beat this team in regular season on the road,
Yeah.
and they didn't lose to nobody. They won their conference championship.
And that team lost to a lowly Michigan.
Yeah. But the same thing we said happened with Notre Dame is the same thing that happened with Ohio State. When they lost to Michigan, everybody doubted them.
Yeah.
They were calling for their coach's job. They were calling for saying they were overrated.
Yeah.
But man, they come out improved. What do you guys think in general about that game? Do you think it was a motivational thing? Because they got all kind of 5-star talent on that team,
I think that loss to Michigan opened them up.
similar to what we said with Notre Dame and
That loss to Michigan,
Northern
showed them
Illinois.
they're not unbeatable.
Right.
So
Right.
now they came.
Yeah. Now they're
That-
out of their
that-
head.
Took that chip off their
I
shoulder.
give that coach a bunch of kudos
Freeman.
just for getting them guys back up, because in my opinion, and I think I've said it before, but I might not have to you guys, but I said the winner of that game is going to win the whole thing.
You think so?
I think so. Just because of the offensive firepower both of them teams have.
Strong. I think they both have the tools. You know what I mean? I really do. But it's tough. You got Ohio State they're strong.
Hmm.
No, Ohio State's got it all, man.
And I don't expect them to have the same type of blowout performance, but I mean, they're like, hey, it's sort of like what happened with that first meeting that the Giants had at the end of the season with the Patriots. There was that season they had Moss.
Yeah.
And it's like you feel like, oh, we can hang with them. Well,
Yeah.
we can hang with you. We can beat you. You know what I mean?
It's Division One football.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everybody, just about everybody's 4 or 5 star recruits.
Right.
Everybody can, get the job done.
Yeah.
It's all about who gets the job done better.
Better. Yeah. Right.
And
More organized.
yesterday, Ohio State happened to be that better team.
Yeah.
So what do you think about Ryan Day? Because I thought he was a solid coach.
I think he's a solid coach.
But that rivalry with Michigan is so important, and he's lost a few in a row. But they always have a good season. That team, that pressure in that for that school is if you got to beat Michigan every year and you got to be in the playoff fighting for a national title, or you're considered a failure.
Yeah.
Is that unwarranted pressure for a coach? Like, you're beating who you're supposed to beat in the regular season.
Right.
The only loss was to Oregon, right?
Yeah.
And they beat everybody else on their schedule.
No,
They
their losses to Michigan.
Oh, that's right, Michigan. So, but that's like losing 2 games in the regular season.
Yep.
What time do we cover the Knicks? What's up, Nathan Victor?
When the Knicks win one.
Hey, they've been playing all right, but that's coming down. We're gonna get to that, later on in the show. But what was the most surprising thing in that Ohio State-Oregon game to you guys? Was it the ease of how well they dominated? Was it the play of certain players, the coaching? Like, what do you think was the main reason why it was so lopsided? It was the number 1 team
I just feel like
in California.
I felt like it was going to be like the not fool's gold, but low hanging fruit or whatever. You go into the first half and you dominate, but in the second half, Oregon's going to be Oregon, right? But it didn't happen. That's what surprised me is how handily they kept up with the defensive pressure and everything.
It's
four quarters.
It's the pressure that they put on the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't give the quarterback no time. He had no time to look for a second and third reads.
Crazy.
Like Ohio State jumped on him fast
Yes.
and jumped on him constant.
Yeah.
They didn't let up. They didn't let up. They just kept going. They kept coming. They kept bringing the pressure.
Yep.
So
Running for his life the whole game.
and stuff like that. There's nothing you can't.
You know what the
Right.
most impressive thing about there was 2 things, but the most impressive thing was the play of the freshman wide receiver.
Yeah.
He played like a seasoned veteran.
Did you? The kid is 6'4", 220.
But he's
Oh,
a
right,
freshman.
right.
He
Yeah.
has the physical
Yo,
tools.
Terrell.
But Marvin Harrison was that size when he was in college too.
No, not like this kid.
Marvin
Not
Harrison's
as
a 6'4" dude.
not
I don't
as
know what his
big-
weight is.
big
But he was
physical
not.
kid.
He was not no 220. He ain't even 220 now.
Big physical kid.
This
But-
kid is huge.
But despite that doesn't breed talent.
No,
He's a good sized kid.
The kid,
But
the kid is legit.
But to have weight on him and be
All right.
talented is a different
But-
thing too.
if all that taken into account, right? You see how wide open he was on some of those long bombs? He was running away for people, the defensive guy. So it's the physical talent that stood out more
Right.
than him just being a big, tall, strong kid.
Yeah.
He was running away from people.
I don't know if you've seen it, but when they brought it up, they showed this picture, 6'4", 220. He runs a 4.4.
Well, that's the 4.4 is what I'm most impressed about.
That's
Yeah.
6'4", 220.
Because whether he
Exactly.
was 5'9",
5'9",
it helps because now even if it's a jump ball, 50-50 ball, you got the 6'4" advantage to rely on, and you're stronger.
It's like
and he showed that
But
yesterday. He did that.
I
He went
saw
over two guys grabbed him.
I saw a lot of him running away
That
from
was
double coverage, the safety trying to catch up, and him just blowing by them. And
Split
I
him.
was like, wow, this is really, really impressive.
Yeah.
Now, at one point, I thought Ryan Williams of Alabama was the best freshman wide receiver, and I've changed my mind.
Yeah, no.
Because I've seen Smith was, by all accounts, ranked number 1. Ryan Williams was ranked number 2 coming out.
Mhm.
But the way Alabama started off against Georgia, and we saw those crazy catches, we were like, yo, how come we don't know about him? And Ohio State, this kid didn't start off as good. He was
Right.
consistent. He got better as the year.
Yeah.
He's a dominant force now. He's found his way to adjust to the college game.
Yep.
And his quarterback play's been good. They got the kid Will Howard transferring over
Yeah.
from Kansas State last year. And that seemed to be really
You guys
good.
laughed at me when I said superior.
Hey, how about this? At the end of the game, right? where they get on the stage, giving out the
I
roses.
just-
They don't let the quarterback up on the stage.
What was Gus thinking?
Yo, the quarterback trying to get on stage. The security's like, nope.
On
This
For Ohio State.
this older.
Because they probably called down and said, "This is who we want. We want the freshman, and we want the kid on defense."
There was a bunch of people on the stage, but they wouldn't let the quarterback on.
All I can guess is you had to be up there by a certain time, and maybe he was out there celebrating with family and friends, and they were like,
how about yo? I'm the quarterback.
The quarter.
Take that freaking lineman off there, and I get up there. I'm the quarterback.
Right.
Yeah.
You had,
but we don't know for sure
That's
what led to it. If they just didn't let him up there, that's bogus because he was a big, huge element in that game. But at the same time, we don't know if he ran to go see the family and the kids, and they were like, "Yo, once we get everybody upstage, we're ready. Once we start interviewing, no more interruptions, no more
They
coming
didn't
up."
start yet.
That's the
They
thing.
hadn't started.
Yeah.
They hadn't started.
I don't know. I didn't even know that
That's
happened.
crazy.
I'm just saying it
I
could have
did
been.
happen to see that.
I'm telling you, that shit's crazy.
That is wild.
Weight limit. That's what they said. That there was a weight limit on the stage.
Hey, John Gonzalez, easy with that.
Nah, that's my buddy right here.
We'll get to that later.
You need a car.
I saw another comment by B Mags I wanted to address.
This one, this one.
Yeah. Because we were talking about what do we think? OSU made a great adjustment defensively. They played with two levels, one intermediate and the next long. To do what? I mean, their wide receiver was doing all right in the first half.
They stopped Oregon's pass game. Like
That rush.
didn't have any
That
time.
rush was insane.
I didn't think they
The
had
rush was insane.
attack in the first half, and
They
they
didn't have no
struggled.
time.
The rush
But
was
when they
insane
came out in the
because
second,
he'd escape one guy, then he dodged another, then the third one would hit him.
it seemed like they just had a target on the running back the whole first quarter. Like he was 2 yards. He was getting frustrated. They saw him yelling on the sidelines at the coaching staff. They said he's so passionate. They said he's like one of the best teammates. It didn't look good at the time because I saw him on the sidelines yelling at everybody, showing his frustration. You're not blocking for me. He said that at halftime. You guys need to block. The announcer said that.
Yeah.
That he made a big deal out of it. But I'm wondering if Mag's saying the adjustments got made from the third to the fourth quarter because then they started using that other number 2 wide receiver and Scatterbo threw the ball. But it looked like they were just trying to run. I don't remember them seeing too many passes completed by Oregon in the first half.
Nah,
I don't know if I was wrong.
He didn't have time.
It was in the second half that their passing game came alive.
No, it seemed like there was like a lot of 3 and out type action.
Yeah, there definitely was. Especially in the beginning of the
I would like, hey, it's Oregon's ball. Then I would turn away for a second. It's back. You know, it's back to Ohio State.
I mean, that very well could have happened. I wasn't aware of it because I didn't remember Oregon doing damage through the passing game in the first half. So I was like, they wouldn't have to adjust to the passing game. But in the past, I thought they came out in the third quarter and started throwing the ball. Remember, they scored right before the half, and then they scored when they got the ball in the second half. That kind of made it a 10-point game or something like that.
They had one of their leading receivers as a tight end, and he didn't get activated until he didn't catch his first pass until the second half.
Now that second wide receiver that did damage, he got hurt in the fourth quarter and played through it. Scatterbro was sick and throwing up on the sideline. Scatterboo, what's his name?
For what? The quarterback?
Huh?
The quarterback? For Oregon?
Oh, wait a minute. I'm mixing up the game.
You are like when you said it, I'm like, I gotta go. Let me go double check.
Rewind.
My fault, man. You know,
I'm pretty sure his name's Gabriel, but he kept saying that. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. The quarterback with Oregon's name, Oregon.
Yeah. No. I was mixing up the game with the Ohio State game. It was the Oregon guys, but Oregon's the one that had the second wide receiver, and their first one was out.
Yeah.
And he did well, but he got hurt in that game too.
Yeah.
You know.
Johnson.
Yes.
Is the number 1.
Yeah, he transferred in from somewhere else.
I'm not sure.
He transferred in from somewhere last year, but anyway,
And Trayshawn Holden was their number 2.
Holden's the one that had the good game.
Trayshawn Holden had a good game.
Yeah.
Huge game.
2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
But what is the B-Max?
It took away their ability to do what they did best, misdirection.
Yeah, because there was no time.
Okay, so that's an interesting take on it.
And running in all directions.
So
But their game is a misdirection game.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah.
process
make
that.
you react to something on the spot. Were there any other elements of this game that you guys were paying attention to, positive or negatively? Was there anything that Oregon wasn't doing that they could have done better, or was there more stuff that Ohio State was doing to just pure dominance?
Ohio State defense was just lights out pretty much.
I was impressed with Jack Sawyer.
There's really nothing that that Oregon could have did
Yeah.
to stop that in the beginning, in the first half. You know,
Interesting. He had that post game interview. I don't know the name of the lady, but she asked him, what was the difference? What was it that was the biggest factor for them to win? And he was like, "We played angry."
Yeah.
And that
it definitely
resulted
looked
back
like
from the Michigan
So
loss.
all 4 quarters, just dominance, and that shocked me.
Oregon runs a lot of misdirection with his own look. You can see it a lot better as opposed to a tight man. Yeah, it's the truth. He didn't have no time to do any of that stuff.
Nope, they jumped right on him. Just about every single play. That's crazy.
Yeah. See, my take is they got dominated in every aspect of the game. Offensive line, defensive line. We just said their quarterback had a great game.
Even
Will
the special
Howard.
teams.
Yeah, but also, don't forget the running backs. And that happens when the line is opening up holes, but they didn't have just one running back. They had 2 running backs because which the main one, he got hurt during the season, and the other one started getting a lot of burn, but they both had good, solid games yesterday. I mean, it was like a 2-headed running attack, and Oregon just couldn't stand up to the offensive line dominance.
Trayvon Henderson at 8 for 90.
Yeah, he was the number 1.
And Quinshon Judkins 17 for 85.
Yeah, but Judkins replaced Henderson for like 4 or 5 games during the year because of injury, and now they're both healthy, and that's a crazy.
When
having those 2 running backs.
When you can air it out like that on a team,
what do you prepare for?
So Jeremiah Smith, 7 for 187, 2 tutties.
7.
That's
so
impressive.
what's his average per catch? Because 7 goes into 187.
26.7.
That's what I'm saying. It seemed like everything was a big play or crucial.
Yeah,
I saw him tiptoe on the sidelines one time for like a 23-yard catch, and I was like,
I thinking about it. His long was only 45.
Yeah.
That was his long.
yeah.
what were they up? 24 by the half? Something like that, right?
I don't remember.
Something like
Well,
that.
you can look
And
it
they
up
jumped
if
to like 30.
he goes into the game. Just
Uh,
I want to say it was 34.
Yeah, maybe.
It was
Right.
like 34-3 or 34 to. I don't know if Oregon scored right before the half.
End of that 34 to 8.
Yeah, because the safety.
Yeah. Yep.
No, they didn't go 6. They went for 2.
But it was it was.
I might have the wrong game.
2 field goals.
The safety was
There was 2 field goals, I believe. They didn't. I don't think they scored a touchdown. Oregon.
it was 34 to 8.
Yeah.
2 field goals ain't gonna give you 8.
But it was safety.
I thought there was a safety
Sure?
involved.
Yeah. Yep.
Don't say safety here. Punt.
Well, anyway, out of all the games, that was the least one we expected to be a blowout. Oregon already owned a victory over them during the regular season. They were undefeated.
Right.
They had all the confidence in the world.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about the playoff. They're calling it a flawed system. You took the 12 best teams based on performances. Always, if you took 14 teams, 15 and 16 would be crying about why they didn't get in. I think looking back, the committee did a damn good job of picking the teams because the teams that were on the outside looking in lost to inferior talent in their own bowls.
I feel like they'll get it right. I feel like give them a couple years. I think they'll get it right. I mean, it's not easy because we got all this shakeup with Niall and
It was a touchdown. Dylan Gabriel passed to Trayshawn Holden for 5 yards for a touchdown.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they went for 2.
All right.
Safety is probably in the ASU game.
Yeah, I know there was a safety somewhere, but I was like, I don't want to push it too much because I could be confusing which game it was. So
I ain't doubling down on that.
So were you more surprised? All right, we got an update from Jack Nagier. All right, that's what. Yep.
Yeah, still.
But put that R after the T, Jack. Northern.
What minute we in? What quarter? The
Third still.
Third.
Yeah,
Wow.
Third.
What game surprised you most? The Boise State. Not Boise State. The Arizona State staying close, or Oregon getting blown out. Which one surprised you guys more?
Oregon getting blown out.
Oregon, yeah. They're the number one seed.
Like I said,
And with good reason, too.
I just give Arizona State
they
so
weren't-
much credit now because I didn't expect them to look good. And they started off bad, but yeah, Oregon getting bombed.
expect Oregon to smack like that. Don't get me wrong, Ohio State's good, but you don't expect them to get smacked like that.
No, because the last game was close.
But
You
remember when
expect
you
it to
said
be
you picked
close.
Oregon, I said I still don't believe. I still feel like they're the Cinderella team. I'm waiting for the other shoe to fall. They're good and they've proven themselves, but I just don't see that. I don't have that inner confidence in looking at them like, ooh, I'm afraid of Oregon. I just feel like they have to play a perfect game. But then again, you know,
Ohio State was definitely not.
Ohio State
anything but a free.
wasn't going to allow
Ohio
anything.
State had a fire under their ass. Like I said,
They really did.
They lost to Oregon and they lost to Michigan
Yeah.
in their last regular season game.
Yeah.
They're on a mission right now.
Yes.
They're on a mission.
Yep. They're
And-
trying to
and-
tear
and like-
everybody up.
And
in
I'll
front
say
of
it
them.
again. Like I said, the winner of that game, in my opinion, the winner of that game is going to win the whole thing.
Okay, so the Notre Dame matchup plays the winner of who? Notre Dame and Georgia plays
Penn
Texas,
State.
right?
Oh, Ohio State, I think.
Wait. You said wait.
I'm not positive.
Notre Dame and Georgia, they'll go to play the Lions, the Nittany Lions. Penn State.
Penn State.
Yeah, Penn
So
State.
then
They're on that side of it.
All right. So then the other game
Because
is
it'll be
already set.
Texas,
Texas, Ohio State.
Texas,
Yeah,
Ohio State
Ohio
play each
State.
other.
They're all
Yes,
set.
that sounds
They're all
about right. So we know that game's already set. Any early thoughts on that matchup?
I already gave you my opinion.
It's Ohio State. I know Texas burns, but I mean,
If Ohio State
when ASU brought it to them, they got deflated pretty easily, and it took them a little bit to get back. It took them that middle of the OT to get back. So and their kicker is wobbly, right?
Texas? I thought he was supposed to be real good, but he
we're
just
not,
didn't.
we're not sold on yours, right?
No.
So
That's another
that
aspect
that
I'm gonna
that
bring up.
attack can do the same thing to him.
So
Maybe worse.
if Ewers gets off to a slow start, I'm predicting we'll see Arch Manning come in for the second half.
But I don't think that's gonna work either.
But he's a
This
He's a
person-
running
The
quarterback.
line still has to block for him.
but they haven't two first round draft picks on that line.
Dylan Gabriel is a running quarterback.
Hmm?
Dylan Gabriel is a running quarterback who Ohio State just made look like crap.
But he didn't try to run.
Right.
He didn't have no
But
time.
the
Right.
exact
They
this
was
is what
coming
I'm
from
this
every
is-
direction.
This is my
All right.
point. This is my point.
Well,
They're gonna do this
Physically, Texas is big, just like Ohio State. So they won't get out physical because
that-
they both have big lines.
That they are.
So
All right.
it might not be as bad because if
Might
I
slow
got a
it down.
20-pound weight advantage over you, it's a lot easier for me to beat you with a bull rush, right?
Yeah.
Texas has big boys on both sides of the line, just like Ohio State. So I think that interior line,
The tenacity might.
I think on both ends, offensive and defensive lines are going to match up. So my thing is saying he
All
might
about
have a little bit more time.
right.
But
That's what we keep
I
saying.
think
It's
because
all
there's a
about the
lot of
quarterback
rumors
play.
about Quinn Ewers not going to the pros this year because his stock is dropped and that he's getting offered 5-6 million to transfer to Oregon or to transfer to another big name school.
Right.
So he could stay and make more money and rekindle that stock that has dropped this year.
Mhm.
So I have a feeling that if he doesn't play well, you know, I think Texas will just see what they got in Manning because Manning's going to be there. You know, no sense. We've seen what Quinn Ewers can do all year.
Mhm.
He struggled in this game and they won. If they
Right.
struggle in this upcoming game, I think he's just going to say, how can it hurt? If we're down 2 touchdowns or more, let me just see if Arch Manning can do anything different or how he responds to that. pressure.
I do think that Ohio State, that line will help him struggle.
Okay.
They're tenacious. The size is one
Texas
thing.
has the athletes and the size to compete. I'm picking Ohio State to win,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying I still think it'll be
It could be
close.
closer. It
Texas
could be.
has played against Will Howard. They already know him. Oh, from when he played in that conference last year
Mhm.
because he was at Kansas
But,
State.
but he has different weapons now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Can't think about it. Kansas State weapons,
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State weapons.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's two different animals.
The running backs, like we said, right?
Yeah, and then you get that. And, you get that
Dynamic
They
running
can't
backs,
prepare
yeah.
just for the passing game when you got two
That
two
Terrell
A+
Owens
running
size
backs.
back.
and then you get that.
I mean, whiteout.
220
So you guys
Megatron.
definitely saying Ohio
Yeah.
State has the advantage in that matchup.
In
Oh
my
yeah.
opinion,
Oh
How
yeah.
close of a game? Let's
It
get a
might
score
not be a
prediction.
light year, but I would.
I say Ohio State by 10.
7.5.
7.5's not a blowout though. So
7.5.
I'm saying state
Ohio
to
State
me
by 10.
under 10 says they keep it close.
I
The
thought
way you guys
Ohio
were brimming
State-
with confidence, I thought you thought they were going to win by 20 or more or something, you know?
I don't. It's
like Paul Paris just said the same thing you just said, but it's totally different when you have different when you have different food that you were shopping for.
Yeah.
How did Bill Parcells say it? How can I do the cooking if you ain't letting me do the shopping?
Right.
Oh yeah, if I can't pick out the groceries, yeah.
Like now, his groceries are top notch groceries.
Sure enough.
Not
He's eating a lot
no
better.
Kansas State
He's
groceries.
eating he can cook now.
Oh,
He can
Paul
really
Parrish
cook
stepping
now.
out on a limb, taking that bait, saying they'll win by 20.
20,
Eventually, they could be up by 10, 13 the whole game, and then force Texas to do something they don't want to do, and a defensive score or a special team score could make it a 20-point game. I don't think they'll be up by 20 early on like they were on Oregon. And, I think the game will stay closer, but Ohio State will pull away in the second half. I think Ohio State,
it's definitely going to be a good game.
by a touchdown to 10 points, I can see that.
It's definitely going to be a good game. But
I could see all those possibilities. I would say the low ball would be mine.
I can't.
I think the low ball is mine.
All
It's
right.
not going to be any closer than 7.5.
Texas.
But we're all in agreement that we think Ohio State has got the momentum and the talent to beat them right now.
23-10 Notre Dame.
How much time? Fourth quarter yet?
Fourth quarter, 13:47 left.
So let's assume if Notre Dame advances. Now they'll play Penn State.
Yeah.
Penn State looked pretty good.
That's going to be tight.
And they got 3 first-round draft picks on that team. 2 on defense. Abdul Carter is, by all accounts,
This is going to be quarterback
Abdul
play.
Carter has to be healthy.
Yeah.
He wasn't healthy this last game.
no.
Nope. He sat out most of the second half.
He has a whole nother week to get ready for it.
So he has to be healthy.
But they have another defensive
they have-
line player.
And very close to 100%.
Yeah.
And then they
Very
have a-
close. It
and
can't
they
be
have
like
a tight
less
end
than
on
80.
offense. And remember, their offense is led by, I think, a top 5 running attack in the nation.
Well, it has
I think
to be
Penn
because,
State, their quarterback doesn't throw. They don't have a great wide receiver. Or nothing like that.
If you take that away, if Notre Dame takes that away, I'm going to say that this is going to be like a plus 10 for Notre Dame.
Plus 10. Penn State got a good defense, though, man.
I just like the way Notre Dame reminds me of Ohio State. They took those losses personally, and they're playing with chip. I wouldn't be surprised if Notre Dame and Ohio State end up playing each other. Which, if we all got Ohio State getting to the championship, now it's just a matter of if Notre Dame hangs on in this game.
I think this is a good experience for them to be able to handle Georgia like that. To go to
Georgia don't have a quarterback right now.
and that was why I
mean,
wasn't
okay,
believing
so
in
we're
it.
talking about they still have defense, right?
No, they still
have
got
running
the defense. They're
game.
one of
Still
the
have
most
a-
physical,
still have a-
hard-hitting teams.
Still have a running game, right? So,
But I thought the inexperience at quarterback would hurt them because Notre Dame is underestimated on defense too.
right.
Notre Dame, they play more of a methodical run game. They don't have a lot of big plays on offense. They're not going to kill you with their passing attack,
Right.
but they're going to limit how many times you get the ball.
Yep.
So if he doesn't do something with the ball on 2 possessions, the quarter's over.
Yep.
Now you don't do nothing on the next 2. You get a field goal. Well, you've had 4 possessions, 5 possessions in the first half. I think they only had 3 points at halftime, or did they have 10?
3.
Yeah. So their offense was struggling to move the ball against Notre Dame's defense.
It wears on you mentally.
And it would have been the same if Beck was there. But to ask a second-string quarterback, regardless of how well he played in Beck's absence when Beck got hurt during the year and last week, that's a lot to ask in a bowl game on a national stage.
Bigger lights. Yeah.
Mhm. You just haven't been there. He looked like he was doing all right, but the lights only get brighter with every round that you advance in. So.
Well, I mean, pure physical pressure too.
But also confidence builds up as you keep playing each game, each play. Probably confidence builds up. It's not like this kid is a bum. He got recruited by Georgia. He probably got a scholarship at Georgia. It's not no bum school.
Oh, no.
So,
But if you haven't had a chance to
five-star.
work with the first team and work out the kinks,
but he also practices against these guys too. You know what I mean?
okay.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Paul's saying that the wide receivers are dropping a lot of big passes for Georgia, and they got some good talent at wide receiver.
Yeah.
Dropping.
So,
Wow.
So
I wish that game was on a little later than throwing it on at 4 PM. We're sitting here wondering.
So the lights happen to be too big for the receivers.
But they've been there the whole time, and they got good receivers, playmaker receivers.
It happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We see it in the NFL. So that stuff happens.
Yeah.
Get overconfident, think you got it, and then you just
running before you catch the ball.
Yep. So back to the original question: if Notre Dame holds out, do they get by Penn State?
I believe so. Yeah.
Because that would set up a Penn State Ohio State championship.
That's gonna depend on taking the run away and being able to score.
Well, I feel a lot more confident in Notre Dame now than when they went undefeated and got blown out in the playoffs when they played. Because remember, they had an easy schedule.
Mhm.
A couple of years back, they went undefeated, and I think it was Georgia they played, matter of fact.
It wasn't Georgia, it was,
Alabama. It was one of those big schools, Georgia or Alabama, or Michigan. But somebody blew their doors out.
I remember
Blew their doors
When-
out
when
when it was
McNair-
only the 4 teams in the playoffs.
they had Manti Te'o.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't remember who it was.
On turf, Notre Dame, on grass, Penn State. Well, I don't know where their next round's at.
Interesting.
But nowadays, it's not going to be muddy. So the way that the grass is now, the grass and the turf are pretty much the same, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Because the grass is
Stiffer, right?
It's softer.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I really don't see a big difference anymore. Like back in the day, when the grass and turf was totally different. Because the turf was AstroTurf or whatever. It was totally different. But the grass, I don't know, it just seemed the same. Just like I forget. I think it's Dallas.
Mhm.
Their field is grass, I believe. They come
Still,
in,
right?
They come in and maybe it's not Dallas, but one of them fields it's grass,
Mhm.
but they roll it on like it's a turf.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, the patches and strips.
A
Right?
strip,
strips.
like
yeah, strips.
yeah. So
Technology.
yeah, it's crazy.
All right. So until we get an update, I know Derek and Mag are keeping an eye on the game. We'll have a few tidbits to end off that conversation once we know if Notre Dame passes. But who knows? Georgia could come back.
Sorry, you're right, Paul. It's Arizona. It's Arizona Cardinals who do the because they can't have their turf in the sun. I mean, their grass in the sun because it'll burn.
Oh,
So
too
the-
hot.
the
It'd be
Cardinals-
110 degrees in
You're right.
Phoenix.
You're right, Paul. The Cardinals is the one.
Good call on that. Good look.
I messed up with the
So-
Dallas. I don't know why.
So I feel the blood pressure boiling a little bit because I think we're done with college football.
Blood pressure.
So a few things happened last week in week 17 in the NFL, highlighted by 2 huge games. One happened Sunday, was us against Green Bay
Right.
at 4:00.
Mhm.
Kind of played out a lot like the first game to me. Yeah, you said that. You said that. I'll give you credit.
Crazy.
Minnesota looked like they had the game in hand.
Yeah.
And then
Took the
they allow
yeah.
Green Bay to come back and make it close at the end. And I'm like,
all breaks.
we had
all
the
breaks,
advantages. Yeah. But that's the same thing that happened in the first game. And it's the same thing that happened against Seattle.
Do you think it was fatigue?
I just feel like they take their foot off the gas pedal and stop doing the things that made them successful, and they stop playing conservative.
Yeah.
Same thing on defense. They don't blitz as much anymore. They just say, hey, we'll play, which I hate, like a prevent style defense.
House money.
Yeah, they're like, we're up. We don't have to do this. We don't want to show too much. But
They let the house money run down just enough.
yeah, but Green Bay made a hell of a game out of it and put a scare into me. When the game ended, I was relieved more than anything else. I was like, wow. But how ironic that it didn't matter if the game was in Green Bay or the game was in Minnesota. Minnesota jumped out to early leads, and then
Close the clamp on.
they're having trouble closing games out.
Gerald.
Minute. But one thing I do want to mention about that game was the play of Sam Darnold. That's another situation. I keep waiting for the fool's gold to end, or the other shoe to drop.
Midnight.
Yeah, I keep
Midnight.
saying he's not
Midnight's not
going to play like
Not
this all
gonna
the time.
But the thing with that is, and I've said this before, and I don't even like to say this in front of you, never mind you here too, is
Just speak the truth.
And I'm gonna no matter what quarterback you put with those receivers, you throw the ball, they go get it.
But you still got to be
I
accurate.
get that. But
Some might overthrow,
Listen,
throw it at their feet.
Kirk missed a lot of them. He missed a lot.
And look at the
Last year,
and
he
what
missed,
was his numbers, Jonathan?
Oh, they were
He
still
threw-
they were still good until he went down.
Even the backups.
Yeah,
Your
I get it.
backups
because
put
they
up numbers.
threw all
I
the
get it.
time. Yeah,
But
yeah,
your
the backups did.
Your
You're right.
backups put up numbers.
Um,
Like
Josh Dobbs
like-
and
like
the dude
what
that
did-
came
what
Yeah,
in.
but Josh was
what
still ended up throwing them hospital balls.
what did
and
what
almost
did, what did your receiver Jetta? What was his numbers at the end of the year? They were crazy.
Yeah, 1,500 yards,
They were
1,700 yards or something.
Because you throw the ball anywhere in his vicinity,
Yeah.
he's gonna go get it.
Or he separates from him too.
That-
Yeah, he runs himself.
They
open
both
a
can
lot.
run that route.
So
for
you just
both of them.
you just throw the ball where it's supposed to be. They're gonna go get it.
Yeah.
So if you put any quarterback in that,
But under pressure, Donald does it though. That's the other part.
huh?
Under pressure, Donald does it though.
Donald hasn't beat himself with costly turnovers.
He's had to climb the
regardless of
pocket.
his
Listen,
wide receivers.
listen. He's had to climb the pocket. He's had to escape. It's a different thing.
That happens.
Again,
That
Cousins
happens.
couldn't do it,
That happens in NFL.
and he's
Cousins
got
did
better.
do it.
He's got better numbers than Cousins had last.
Cousins was out half the season last year.
All right. So,
No,
but
he
he.
wasn't.
Well, no, he was.
Cousins was out last
He
year.
was.
He was hurt.
I thought
But
he was only
but-
toward the end
but-
of the year.
what about? I mean, listen. His numbers are definitely
I'm not-
comparable
I'm not-
to 22.
I'm not trying to shit on Sam Darnold because he's
No.
having an amazing season.
yeah.
But I'm just saying,
Yeah.
with what you guys have,
Right.
And the tight end contributes. Our number 3 wide receivers and 4 contribute.
Addison and
Addison is a
number
lot better
82.
than people gave him credit for.
Number 82 was it 82?
Fool, what's up, man?
We got
The dude that scored the long touchdown.
Speedy Jalen Naylor.
Yeah.
Jalen Naylor.
Yo,
Yeah.
he was.
He's
He's making big plays. Like
Well,
Yeah,
when you got those other two taking
Yeah.
pressure away,
Yeah.
you're double teaming JJ, and then you're putting your third best guy on Addison.
where's he
And
at?
who's
In the
playing?
end
Who's
zone?
playing the third guy? The
Yeah.
safety. But let me.
I didn't even know they had a third guy. That's what they said.
Yeah.
and,
But,
and that's the crazy part about just you
So-
put any decent
So
quarterback
tell me
with them guys.
how much.
Yeah, decent. That is a
Yes.
key. That is a key.
How much
That
of
is a
this
key.
is talent,
It
and how
is a
much
key.
of this? I'm going to read a statement. Right.
But Darnold has arm talent though.
Darnold he's a first round draft pick.
Right.
Yeah,
he's
but
he's
he's
realizing
failed
his
everywhere.
potential.
Huh?
This is the first place he's been
He's
successful.
he's
Steve, he had nothing around him.
right.
But no other person could work with him and bring out that talent. He had 3 stops, man. He was in the Jets. He was with San Francisco. He was with Carolina.
San Francisco a backup. Yeah.
San Francisco had talent.
Good.
When he was there,
He just came from there last year.
Yeah.
He was their backup.
all right, he was a backup.
He played one
Purdy
game.
didn't get
He played
hurt.
one game. Did very
But
well
he didn't
in that
look
game.
good enough.
No, he did well in the one game he played.
He was a backup,
well.
like you
He did
said.
well.
He was
Right.
a backup.
But
didn't get a-
he had
didn't
that
get a-
talent, and he
But
probably
he
played
got
with them
he
in
got to
practice.
get the mental reps there. And
No, he played with the second team in practice.
All right, that's getting ahead of ourselves with the question Ryan asked. But right now, Sam Darnold's stats: 33 out of 43, high efficiency,
yeah,
And not
377 yards,
Right.
3 touchdowns,
He didn't miss a
1
lot.
turnover.
he didn't miss a lot.
To me, the 1 turnover and the accuracy stand out. You could have the best people in the world, but if it was Tim Tebow at quarterback, you know how many people were getting frustrated when they had the talent, the ball's getting thrown over their head, thrown at their feet, 5 yards away from them, behind them. You got to have some type of talent and confidence. I think his
You got to be
confidence
able to
has
locate
grown.
the ball.
Yeah, but the fact that so he had 377 yards, but look how it was spread out. JJ 8 out of 11 for 92 yards. Naylor 5 for 5, 81 yards. Addison 6 for 8, 69 yards. Hawkinson 5 of 6 for 68 yards. Aaron Jones 4 of 5. CJ Ham 2 of 2. Akers 2 of 3, and Mutt 1 for. He only missed 10.
Touchdown, yeah.
No, every single person he threw the ball to was a high percentage. It wasn't just. Yes, they affected it because you don't have as much defense to spread around.
And I'll give it another one though. I'll give it the coaching angle. It's KOC. Kevin, he creates with scheme. He creates openings. He creates that illusion that hey, we're gonna go over the top, but it's a yak play, or he has a lot of long developing stuff, but the stuff works when it's available. You know what I mean? So you're gonna find these guys in an area where there's nobody 5 or 6 yards. You know what I mean? And then it just seems a little easier of a pass, but he's making tough passes.
So he played great, but I'm looking at Green Bay stats. I don't even know how the game was that close. Did they score on special teams or anything like that? Because Love was 19 of 30, which ain't bad, but only 185 yards.
Running game didn't
and one
do anything.
touchdown.
Running game
Yeah,
didn't do
how many
anything.
yards do you think Jacobs had?
I think they said he had like 70.
Yeah, 69 yards. But then their leading receivers, Dobbs, 7 for 58 with no scores. Kraft, 2 for 53, no scores. Wicks, 4 for 43. Jaden Reed has gone down the tubes the last quarter. I got him in fantasy. He started off great. 1 catch, 6 yards. Where did Green Bay score? Like, how did they keep it that close? Because they have no dominate. Jacobs didn't dominate. Love didn't dominate. The wide receivers.
Couple flips of the field.
McManus, 1 field goal and 2 extra points.
Some defensive scores.
Looking. Oh, wait a minute. No, they had.
No,
they didn't have no scores on defense. But
Yeah, of course not.
yeah, but the fact that they came back, and I'm like, wow, like I just remember Minnesota was dominating early, and then they kind of gave up the lead a little bit.
Yeah.
But so they escaped the first half of it. But before we sign off on this game, Brian asked the question: will he do this well next year or wherever he goes? Do we believe he's the quarterback of the future? Because we did invest our first overall pick at number 10 or 11, wherever we drafted last year, in a quarterback that's supposed to be the quarterback of the future.
I'm all in on Darnold coming back. The success he has warrants it right now, but especially if he gets us deep.
Him. I remember you said ask for the hometown discount.
Yeah.
With each game, his salary's going up.
I feel you.
We can end all controversy, which would give him $40 million
you
a
could
year.
still ask him, but
and then you let McCarthy develop for another year because he's hurt. We don't know what he's.
We don't
look
know
like.
what his timetable is.
So
we don't know
he
if he's
has
gonna have
another year.
setbacks.
That year, he was supposed to fight Donald for the job this year, but he got hurt, and Donald took the job. So I don't think Minnesota even risk trying to let Donald walk. I think they'll tag him, and they'll see what they got in McCarthy.
Yeah,
they can always trade Donald midseason or trade McCarthy midseason.
Yep.
But that was one of the rumors I saw on some of the Viking sites and some of the other sites with the way that the draft fell into place. Some of the teams that were high up messed around and won last week.
Yeah.
The Raiders already down to like pick 8.
Yeah.
So I don't think Shador is going to be there, and I don't think Cam Ward's going to be there.
No,
so
definitely not.
There's nobody else worthy unless they trade up. I think the Patriots are in an envious position.
Daniel Jones.
Yeah. Well,
Notre Dame just stopped Georgia on the 12.
Okay. So
what would we within 5 minutes?
Huh?
Will we within 2-minute warning? 5 minutes?
I'm not positive on the time.
So anyway, what my point's going to be: people like McCarthy. I don't know about Daniel Jones, but also people like Kirk Cousins, who we think is going to get released to save $10 million. He has to get released before April 1st. Yeah. People will get in position to take a chance on them rather than try to reach for that third quarterback. There's no third quarterback that's coming in. That's going to come in. So that might put pressure on. I wouldn't mind trading McCarthy for a number 1 and number 2 pick. And then we have an early first round pick and we can get a top offensive lineman and go back and get a cornerback.
Who's going to trade for McCarthy, give you a number 1?
Because they're saying McCarthy's better than the next option after the first 2.
Yeah, I know. But my opinion, am I going to give up a high first rounder
for Raiders might
for a guy that
MCL.
All right.
Even play?
Can I just paint a picture and then you can tell me what you think? Who just bought into ownership of the Raiders?
Brady.
Where did Brady go to school?
Michigan.
Where did McCarthy go to school?
Michigan.
Where do you think the talk's coming from? Brady is enamored with him, and they're saying Brady's the one leading the talks.
It tracks.
He's the one. He's throwing out the tea leaves right now.
You know what's funny? I'll go here.
Mike Slick, no. But they do look good, but I don't think they're going to win another bowl.
I like the Rams, bro.
I like them, but I don't think they're going to win.
I think they're going to have a tough matchup because right now they're the 8th seed or something like. No, wait a minute. Green Bay's the 7th seed. They're going to get caught up in that 3-6 game. They're going to be a division winner, but they're going to be the 3. They're going to have to play the 6.
Right.
That's Washington. That's going to be a tough game.
Sure is.
And the fact that it's going to be the Rams would be a division winner, the game would be for the Rams. So I think the Rams can squeak it out. But there'll be no easy games in that NFC. Whoever wins, Anthony, whoever wins in the NFC is going to have tough games one after the other because I don't think except for Atlanta, there's no
gimme.
There's really Atlanta's the easiest game out of all of them, but Tampa Bay could overtake them, and I don't want to go to Tampa Bay either. Right now, if we stay in the same seed we're in, we have to go to the winner of that division because that's going to be the 4th place. I'd rather go to Atlanta than go to Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah. And I think the Rams are playing good. They don't have no major injuries. There's no reason. Their defensive line is incredible. All those young guys.
Young boys, man.
Yeah.
Young boys are tough.
And I think they're going to build on that next year. They're going to look to build on their offensive line. They got a nice running back. They got great wide receivers. They might look for a backup quarterback because Stafford's aging, but that won't be a top concern. But you know, hey, we'll see what happens. So Minnesota did their part. Then we get to the Monday night game. I'm just going to say a little closer than I expected because of all the injuries that San Fran also had and what was on the line for Detroit. I just thought that Detroit had something to play for.
I mean,
really-
hey, 7,
There was really
10
nothing
points
on the line.
Huh?
There was really nothing on the line.
But I mean, if you heard Dan talk, it's basically
Dan said we
not.
came-
We came to play.
Wanted
Yes,
to-
but there was
wanted
really
to bruise.
nothing. The way you said there's something on the line, there was really nothing on the line.
No, because either way, you know that loss
either way, it's
still
going to come down to Sunday.
right. Either way,
But why was that game close? I remember last week when we were
Yeah.
here, I said San Fran's just going to have pride.
Mhm.
They had a bad season. They caught some bad breaks with injuries. They just want to show people that they're not going to lay down.
And they didn't.
And they played a hell of a game against the Lions. We were all online talking to each other during the game, and
Right.
we didn't know how it was going to turn out until the last 3-4 minutes of the game.
Then they started pulling away.
Yes. I mean, and it wasn't anything Detroit did. Detroit's offense did what they're supposed to do. My Achilles heel with them was their defense has trouble stopping people.
Right.
And San Fran's offense is not that formidable, but they were that night
Right.
because I think too many injuries on. That's my only argument with Detroit right now. If they get your linebacker back, which I saw a report, but
Coming back, bro.
he said I'm back, but I don't trust that news source, and I haven't seen Detroit's homepage say that he was coming back.
He got his.
They said that he started practicing.
He started his 21-day practice schedule.
Right,
So-
but I don't think he'll be back for this week. That's my only point. I think he'll be back after that because if you do win this week, you've got a 2-week
Yeah,
layoff.
you guys definitely want the bye for that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, because that helps him come back. The guy with the broken jaw, does he have any chance of coming back?
Yeah.
I mean,
He'll be
The
back.
only
He'll be
one-
back in the playoffs.
Hutchinson, they even said for the Super Bowl. So
But honestly, I don't want that.
yeah, you don't want
I
because you
don't
don't want no long-term problems.
I'd rather him just sit it out.
Yeah.
Will he
Worst
help
comes
us?
to worst.
Of course, probably, but I don't want it. I don't want it. Me personally, I don't want it.
I wouldn't either. You know what I mean? Say that's
They're
Bernard or something.
Their
or
offense is so good,
it's the same.
and
Scenario.
they're talking about Montgomery coming back
Montgomery will be back
in 2 weeks.
in the playoffs.
Yeah, so
That helps out.
if they have to play a first-round game,
same
he'll
scenario.
be
You
there.
don't want
And if they have
rush
to
him.
buy, that helps them even more because Anzalone would definitely be back. The
Mhm.
kid with the broken jaw would be back,
Yep.
and then they get Montgomery back.
Yep.
So even if they have to play in the first round, they're back to full strength, but they're a 14-15 win team.
Mhm.
So I would think no matter who they play,
Not
but they'd have to play on the road. That's the scary thing for us.
But the thing about
14-win
that,
team.
I'm not, and it's been done before. But Detroit was 8-0 on the road this year. We have our 2 losses came both at home.
45. I don't know. I thought I saw 40 when I Googled it, but if it is 45, it's only for 1 year, man. We got a ton of money we didn't use last year. I'd still franchise them.
I've heard 50. So
No, the franchise
oh,
has to be the average
yeah,
of the
yeah,
top
yeah.
5 salaries.
No, it might
The
be.
average of the top 5 salaries, I thought they said was 40. It could be
Yeah.
45, but I'm not playing no games with that until I can see what I got with McCarthy. I could franchise him for one. I'm not trusting in the youngin. The youngin hasn't given us no reason to get confident.
He's only got mental reps right now,
Depending
and he's
on
got
how Donald
a
finishes out this year,
yeah.
I think he'll earn the right to get that money for 1 year,
Mhm.
and then we see what we got with Donald.
And the only thing is how it plays out with the contracts of the defenders. You know what I mean? It's
All
that's
right.
the other thing.
That's something that could come in handy. But Purdy doesn't have to get paid this year, right? I thought Purdy has 1 more year, but they want to lock him up.
No, this would be Purdy's.
I thought,
Purdy
He's coming off his rookie.
yeah,
was he a rookie the year that the first time they went to the Super Bowl?
yeah, he was a rookie.
So then,
So
he should be
my
so
thing
good.
is, they could franchise Purdy next year, which if
Unless-
it's currently at 45, that won't raise.
unless they decide to sign Purdy this year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they could sign him
So
this
it's-
year, or they
it's
could
all
franchise
timing
him.
at that
But
point.
if I'm San Fran and I can sign him early right now, I'm
Yeah,
signing
it's only going to go up every
I'm
year.
signing him because it's only going to get higher.
But
Yeah.
my thing is, regardless of if it's 40 or 45, as a Viking fan, I'm playing on the side of caution, and I'll take both quarterbacks. It can't hurt me.
That's what
It can't hurt me.
I definitely
It's
want
1 year, and I can
Yeah,
always
yeah.
trade him and eat some of the salary. If another team if we feel like McCarthy's the guy, we can trade him mid-season. He's already earned 6 or 7 games for us, so
Yeah.
we're not losing the whole $45 million.
there's this talk around the fandom about KLC's the quarterback whisperer. I get that. He's done a fantastic job with most of the quarterbacks that he's had to come
Or
through.
maybe he's just got great receivers.
Well,
He did it in LA too.
But hold on.
Oh,
O'Connell. He was a quarterback.
Yeah,
coach.
yeah.
I'm
He's
throwing-
throwing the monkey wrench.
throwing-
The
I'm
monkey
just-
wrench.
I've seen
wrench around and wrench.
I've seen so much about who's the coach of the Rams? McVay giving so much credit to O'Connell
Yeah.
and what he did for Matt Stafford's confidence reemerging
Right.
when he got traded over there.
Right.
They said he put him in positions to be successful more times.
And
than
look,
they
and
could
he's
think.
Yeah,
still
you
and
know
he's
why?
still successful.
you know why?
They won a Super Bowl.
Because they had Coop, they had
They didn't have Nakua.
they had ODB, OJB. What do you mean?
Oh, he got hurt in the Super Bowl.
In the Super Bowl, and he killed it all year.
but
They had that high price defense too, though.
Yeah, and they had everybody on the defense to help.
They mortgaged the farm for 2 years,
Matt, I don't know if you know, Matt Stafford put up numbers the year before with Detroit.
except wins.
I said numbers.
But you know what?
That's a win.
Stafford has always.
What was
put
the
up-
number
he
of
has-
wins?
He has always put
How
up.
many All-Stars did he have? How many Pro Bowls did he have?
Numbers.
What are you talking
If
about,
you're
Steve?
throwing on a losing team and you're losing by so much in the fourth quarter that people are praying prevent defense, you can pad your numbers with yardage and touchdowns because you're down 3 touchdowns. That's why I hate prevent
No,
defense.
he wasn't down 2-3 touchdowns.
When he was playing for Detroit
Yeah.
last year,
Yes.
how many games did they win?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
It wasn't a lot. They were down more than they were up. So
All right.
when you're playing comeback,
So who did he have on his team with the Rams? He had a bunch of Pro Bowlers. He had a bunch of all pro guys,
he should
whether it was offense and
he
defense.
should have done that with the Rams. Yes, but the whole thing was,
I mean, it makes it
so
personnel
how does-
makes a difference.
So how does that make
with the Rams? He
quarterback?
was winning and not getting garbage stats in the fourth quarter, and with Detroit, he was getting garbage stats.
So basically,
They weren't a
it's-
high-scoring team when he was there. Who? Detroit, when Stafford was there.
What do you consider not high scoring?
Not like they are now.
What do you consider not high scoring?
30 points a game.
That's not high scoring.
I
Well,
said
that
that's
is.
considered high scoring to me, like 27,
We-
30.
we-
30,
Well,
30 points a game is
let-
that's leading the league right now.
Yeah.
All right, well,
I mean, you know what's funny too is that when they did that
the
trade,
whole 21.
I thought, and I think there was a lot of consensus to it too, is that a lot of people thought that it was like a lateral trade. It was, nobody got
Exactly,
and he-
Gerald. That's my point.
like the better
that's
quarterback.
That's coming from a Dallas Cowboy fan, so I don't want to hear that.
See, he is in his they can franchise. Brian's saying he's suggesting that he'll be extended this year because they'll save money. Like similar to what Derek was saying, the longer you wait, the more it's going to cost you.
Right.
So- My thing is they have to make a decision with Trent Williams, who I wouldn't resign. He's 36. He's making a ton of money. I would let him walk and use some of that money to extend Purdy this year.
The way he was sounding, he don't want to play for the Saints.
They said he didn't want to play this year.
He don't want to play.
He wanted to retire last year.
Oh, did he?
And they talked. He missed like the first 2 or 3 games because of negotiations,
Right.
and then they gave him a ridiculous contract, and he gets hurt halfway through the year.
Mhm.
So that money that they're paying him is 30-something million. So if
That's on them.
you take, I don't know if Brian has the stat, but he's in the last year, but he wasn't a first-round draft pick, so Purdy's contract got to be doo-doo right now. Even though, because he was the last pick in the draft, he doesn't have first-round guarantees where he's making $18 million this year or something like that. So he's getting almost a 1,000% raise. He's going to get 30, 40 million easy next year. Yeah, I agree. It's just they got to have money for everybody else too. Remember, they just paid Ayuk. Debo
Yeah.
Samuel's now.
Yeah, for him to go down.
Yeah. They paid, so they had McCaffrey. They renegotiated. He went. They
Pretty
got
much
a lot of money,
dead money, pretty
and
much.
they got Dre Greenlaw, who they want to keep on defense, who got hurt this year. They want to keep him partnered up with their other linebacker they got, but they need Warner.
Oh, yeah, Fred. Yeah.
They got to have money for Warner.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to pay Greenlaw. They're gonna have to pay Purdy. They don't have to pay Purdy right now, because they could back off somebody else and save money, but they will pay $7 to $10 million, like Brian said, more the following year. But if they just want to worry about this year, franchise them, or
which one is going to be more cost effective for them on the
right
back end?
If Trent Williams retires, or they just don't resign him, that's $30 million. 20 million of that can go toward renegotiating with Purdy, and that other 10 million could get added on to the offer you want to present to Purdy. Because, to Greenlaw. Greenlaw is, I don't know what he's making right now. I don't know if he's on a rookie contract, but let's just say he's making $8 million a year. So he could go up to $20 million a year next year. You got $10 million built in out of the offensive lineman Trent Williams contract if you don't take him back. You could put $20 million of Trent Williams money toward Purdy, and $10 million of that money toward Greenlaw. And then there's just somebody else that's probably dead weight that's making money. You got to let go of another veteran. But there's ways to do it. But
there might be a sacrifice playing in.
Kittle's making good money with them. McCaffrey got renegotiated last year. Ayuk got renegotiated last year.
Players.
Samuel was renegotiated 2 years ago, and now because he saw Ayuk get the money, but he hasn't produced in order to get a raise. And I hate when people just watch other people's pockets and feel like, well, if he's getting it, I should be getting it. Ayuk outproduced you 2 years ago, and he probably would have outproduced him this year.
And last year as well.
No, he was hurt this year.
No, last year I said.
Well, he only got the contract 2 years ago. So
Ayuk just got his contract.
No.
Oh, you're talking about
Samuel got paid 1 year before Ayuk.
Yeah, Debo seems like he's declining.
Yeah, like he didn't have the numbers, but you can't blame it on Purdy.
Too many injuries.
Because Kittle played well with Purdy. Juwan Jennings played well. Derek don't want to talk about him. That cost him some money in fantasy.
Yeah, fuck them.
Yeah, Derek had everybody for Detroit, and I was like, yeah, but you got 4 dudes left. But San Fran came off the field, and them guys going for the last drive through two passes to Jennings, and he lost by like a point. But anyway, there's going to be some interesting decisions to be made. So,
all right, Debo Samuel's contract structure includes options and bonus of $15.4 million that the team must decide on.
Option? Oh, the team?
The team must decide on before March. The 49ers could trade Sam before that. What's the
and they got Ricky. Who's the guy that got shot? He played well. Ricky, I keep saying Ricky Pro, like the old.
Oh, he does have an old school name like that.
Yeah, but it's somebody. The guy that Pearsall.
Yeah, Ricky Pearsall.
He missed the first half of the season because of being shot, and when he came back, he looked good. When he came back, he could develop. That's why
he went off. He went off in that game
because they didn't know if they were going to get Ayuk back.
Yeah,
and they drafted him as insurance.
They got.
If they got an option, I wouldn't be surprised if they trade Debo.
Yeah,
I forgot where I stopped, but the 49ers could trade Samuel before that.
Before March 1st, you said, right?
Before March.
Yeah.
But they would still.
But that's the open of the.
They would still have a dead money charge
league.
of $31.5 million on their 2025 cap, and the Trent Williams has $34 million cap hit in 2025, and the $37 million in 2026. Although extending his contract might not impact the 49ers cap much in the short term, Williams would likely want a contract closer to $30 million. Other free agents, they have Javon Hargrave.
Yeah, he came over from Philly last year.
Javon Hargrave and Debo Samuel could be cut after June 1st, while other free agents may leave for new contracts.
Why not, Mags?
I can see
Why
that.
won't they trade Debo? I think Pearsall's developing. They could look for somebody else in the draft this year. They got Juwan Jennings still there.
They need to do something if they want to sign Purdy.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the money's got to come from somewhere. Why would you keep Debo when he's up for a $15.4 million bonus if he's not
cut him and kill that
by March 1st?
Cut him and kill that.
Yeah, I cut him and get rid of that 15.4, and then I don't bring back Trent Williams.
Like you said, that can funnel right over.
You got to find the money somewhere, but
I'd
rather keep Purdy than Debo right now.
Trent Williams is pretty much done. The way
He
it sounds.
doesn't want to play.
You don't want to.
Oh, the swag.
Yeah, well, swag ain't winning enough games, man.
Yeah,
And he's not staying healthy.
Exactly.
So we'll see what happens with that. So how do you feel? Let's talk about the game coming up now. All seriousness, we're not gonna play Homer Simpson right here, but what do we expect to see?
A lot of scoring.
Yes, because it's going to remind me Green
Bay.
Bay.
It's going to be a high scoring game. The defenses on both sides are both a little shaky. You guys got a great pass rush. I'll give you that, but the corners are not.
Well, we have an interception every game.
That's caused by your
pass
front.
Yeah, definitely.
So
front seven is affecting the game.
That's what I'm saying.
I think that will probably be a pivotal thing going down the stretch.
But we have one of the best offensive lines in the game as well.
I feel you.
And they're healthy.
It's going to be a battle. It's going to be a chess match.
So yeah.
Last game was close, and I don't expect it to be different.
No,
I mean,
it might be who has more offensive opportunities.
The
it could come down to who has
expect.
the ball last.
That part.
Barring
Because
turnovers.
it came down to who was who had the ball last. The other, I think that's going to be the scenario.
But what also hurt us in the fourth quarter was Monty fumbling inside the 30.
Yeah,
that helped you.
Well,
Aaron fumbled to return.
We had turnovers too.
Huh?
We had turnovers too. Just not at the end.
Wait, in the fourth quarter?
Doesn't matter.
No. First.
Point. They lead the point. They lead
First
the early opportunity. We turned the ball over early in that game.
But
I think.
Did we get points off those turnovers?
Yeah, we turned it over on your side of the field. Even if it's a field goal.
You guys scored a touchdown.
It was only a 2-point game.
Yeah. You guys haven't scored a touchdown to take. That was your first lead that you took.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
It ended up being 31-29, correct?
Yeah.
So if we didn't give up that field goal off that turnover,
and if we don't,
had 3 less.
That is crucial.
Wait, what field goal?
That's the math.
And if we don't fumble, and you guys don't return it for 7,
then was it if?
All right, so then
the fifth.
You said if we don't get that turnover.
I'm just saying it's a reciprocal thing.
No, but 7 points and 3 points is totally different.
Well, I don't even know. I'd have to go back because I know we turned the ball over that led to points. I don't know if it was a field goal or a touchdown.
Where did he turn the ball over?
Who? It was first down.
On the goal line, wasn't it?
Who? No, it was first down around the 30. You guys picked
No,
up.
we turned the ball over on the goal
That's
line.
what I'm saying,
Yes,
bro.
We turned
the ball over on the goal line. That would have been 7.
We went for it on 4th down, and we
that would have been
7.
We fumbled it out of bounds into the end zone. You guys went down
right
All
on
right.
the goal.
Hold on. You just on 4th down, so you wouldn't have scored.
No, he was gonna cross the goal line.
He was crossing the goal line and
he was gonna cross the goal line.
So whose fault's that?
It's a turnover.
It's Aaron's, but I'm just saying it's reciprocal. You said if we had our
we had the same turnover you guys had.
We both had them.
Yeah, but
and y'all still won.
What do you guys think about this statement? Whoever turns the ball, whichever quarterback turns the ball over, the least that team wins. Because I think they're both going to be.
I don't know if I trust that because they both had multiple turnovers and won a game.
But they're not turning the ball over a lot right now. But this is being a big game with the high scoring. Somebody's going to have to take a chance, and they're going to throw a lot. I think Minnesota's going to throw a lot more than run. You guys are probably going to use Gibbs out of the backfield as part of your throwing game, but you also have him to run. But I just think you guys might be more pass happy too because we're not going to be able to stop our secondary.
Goff is feeling it.
Goff has had high percentages.
Goff had multiple perfect passer rating games.
Yeah,
he's feeling it.
He's also Jekyll and
it's
Hyde,
like he's feeling like I don't know. I haven't seen
much this year.
No, I agree with that. He's again. He's had what, two or three.
I saw some disappointing numbers. In 2 of my leagues, like I had a debate whether
as in what? As in
what week was it?
Only. Because they scored more running.
That's probably what it was.
Or when we put up 52 points, but he only had 85 yards passing.
Because it was that Sonic and Knuckles thing.
No, well, there was a lot of turnovers.
And but scoring on defense.
I think whichever quarterback has the least amount of turnovers gives that team an advantage. What do you guys think will be a deciding point for either team to win? Why do you think Minnesota needs to do the win?
It's gonna be like a stop at the end thing. You know what I mean? Again, who gets the ball last in that close situation has the ability to punch it. Whether it's a kick, whether it's a foot, or whether it's a walk off, it's you know what I mean.
And you know something?
And I like both kickers.
Yes,
both kickers are
they
good.
both got range. They're both accurate. It's indoors. You don't have to worry about. I love the fact that we're playing indoors, whether it's Detroit or else, because you don't have to worry about weather conditions.
Yeah.
So I think there's gonna, special teams and turnovers. I think there's gonna need to be a big play where we don't expect it from because we know what the offense is capable.
Gonna have a lot to do with it.
Yeah, but I think in that division they're used to each other now. I feel like the same thing that happened with Green Bay.
and
It's
this-
going to be close regardless of if it
this
was
is-
in Green
this-
Bay or.
this is
I
the-
mean,
This is a crazy stat. Like everybody's like online and stuff. Everybody's saying Jetta kills you. Jetta kills you. Jetta kills you guys. He averages 8 for 182 against you guys.
St.
you
Brown
guys,
probably
you guys
kills
are
us.
3-1.
Hold on, but he only has 4 touchdowns against us.
Yeah.
And I think it was 6 games. He averages 8 for 182. Only has 4 touchdowns.
Right.
So the dude. Don't get me wrong. In my eyes, the best receiver in the game.
Right.
You know, there's no stopping him. There's only hoping to contain him.
Right.
And
With Addison
and
on
in
the other
6
side.
games, and in 6 games, he only has 4 touchdowns. That's pretty good if you ask me.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
one thing that I think might sway, I think everything from offense to defense, but I like us in the coaching game. Only because of the risk. I just feel the risk will eventually catch up. And I hope it doesn't
There's
come
that
down
if
to
again.
that. I hope it
There's
doesn't
that
come
if.
down because
here's what
if he does, you're going to be saying
what I don't like
that
is
was just stupid.
I-
You should
what
have
I-
done that.
what-
but
yeah.
you're supporting it
he
right
does,
now.
he
You're-
does the
you're-
one boneheaded.
It's been working.
Yes, but
So if it's working, why wouldn't I?
hasn't
Why would you
worked all the
abandon
time. He got last week. It
We have-
failed twice.
We have 2 losses. It's working.
Well, he went for it on 4th down like 3 times last.
I mean, both coaches are working pretty much.
It's working.
Same exact
But
record.
sometimes you just gotta take the given. You know, take the field goal.
They
My
both
thing is,
they
you
both
don't
have
take the
like
field goal,
one little thing about them. Both
Yeah.
of them.
But I just feel
You know
like
what I mean?
if you can take
But
the
it's
field
not
goal
much.
and take the lead, you don't always have to go for the touchdown.
I mean,
If it's 4th and 3, take the guaranteed 3 and trust
Kale?
that your team will score again or whatever. You can't just always go for it on 4th down.
yeah.
'Cause
Well, you
why take the
can.
chance of
You
watching
can.
it?
When you're
You
lead,
can.
you lead the league in scoring.
You can, yeah. And honestly, you might want to
It
because
depends
that's
on
the same
timing
thing.
of it. It depends on the timing of it.
Yeah, but
Because if it's 3 minutes to go and you can tie the game, but you go
Yeah.
for the win,
Notre Dame won.
okay. So
Same final score, right? 23-10.
final score, Mags.
I don't know. It's gonna be a good game. It's not gonna
Down
be a
to the-
blowout.
yeah.
It shouldn't.
Well,
It shouldn't be a blowout.
It's gonna be it's on the perfect slot.
The
You know what I mean?
I'm
Perfect slot.
upset about that. I've been off for 2 weeks.
Oh,
So I go back to school 7:00 Monday
No.
morning, right? If we all go out and watch the game together, I'm not going to sit there and not have a couple of beers. So I had 2 weeks off. I feel great. My energy level's up. And then I'm going to be like going home at 12 o'clock after a few drinks. I'm going to come into work like, oh, I'm so tired.
5-hour energy
And
time.
I'm not allowed to take the day off after Christmas vacation.
Oh, there's
so I
that.
can't. I have to
There's
go
that.
in.
Stay away from that Hennessy.
You can't really enjoy yourself. That might cause me to watch the game at home
Oh,
because the temptation
What?
of I don't want to be out till 12 o'clock,
I feel you.
but I'm going to be up no matter what.
That sounds like he's scared to watch.
Turn like
No, not
turn-
at all.
turn
It's just
to a
you know,
pumpkin.
what's the point of going to a bar and the bar's not too happy with you if you're not supporting? There's only water
$23.
on the rocks.
You know, it's
All right.
23-10.
Well, I think it's going to be a close game this week, regardless. of
Yeah,
who
we all
expect to
have
win.
that. Yeah, we.
I
all
just
have
think it's going to be close, and I'm just hoping that it doesn't come down to
that.
a gamble.
And
I just hope somebody wins it outright, so there's no controversy. That's all I'm hoping.
and you know what? I'll put it. I'll do it the anti-Homer thing, right? Whoever wins it not only gets the #1 seed, but wins the Super Bowl.
There's a lot of competition in the NFC.
That's a tough.
If we have the advantage because you'd play at home. You don't have to worry about weather.
That's just my take because they're just that strong.
Philly's not going away anytime soon. And you
They
Green
can
Bay,
go. They can go.
Rams,
They can. They
I don't
can get
know.
it in the first round.
I'm
not sold on
I'm
them.
not sold on Philly.
Nah.
It's just not
It's
gonna be-
it's
I
Barkley.
just don't see.
But they-
Barkley's not playing.
listen.
That's another talk point.
That
He's sitting out.
that receiver core is not what it used to be.
No,
I'm
that
more worried
receiving
about
core,
Jalen
that receiving
Hurts.
core is tough.
Yeah,
It's
I'm more
about-
worried
it's
about
about
Jalen
the
being
quarterback.
Yeah.
But Jalen
It's about
didn't
the-
play.
Well, there's that too.
Yeah,
There's
he
that.
has to be
There's that.
healthy.
It's all about, but they're saying it's a concussion. So
He won't play this week.
He'll
along
sit
with
out. He'll
Barkley.
sit out.
They've
again
already
this
announced Barkley not playing.
He'll
Right.
sit out
Definitely
again
gonna
this
sit
week.
out
Yeah,
Hurts.
yeah.
So
Because they can't improve their staff.
nah, they
can't improve their
stay
stock
at
now.
number 2 regardless.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about them sitting Barkley? I like the decision.
He said he's okay with it. It's not like
Oh,
Yeah,
I
a
heard
lot
him
of
say,
people
"I'm
are
not the
making a
coach,"
lot about it, but
but I don't like the idea of somebody having a 1-game advantage to break a record. You know, even when Henry did it, he did it in a 17-game season too.
but listen, that record was broken by it was 15 games,
Shit,
then
30
it was a
years ago,
16
something
games,
like that.
so it's already
Yeah.
been done. It's just a rehash. It's not gonna matter,
What up, Chris Santos?
you know.
But from here on out, it's going to be 17 games for everybody. So
Right.
Right.
But right now, the current record.
Well, no,
based
they're
off
talking
16.
they're talking about 18
Yeah,
in a couple
Which-
years or
That's
so.
putting the players at risk
that's stupid.
just to make more money.
Well, I mean, you're gonna shorten the preseason,
You're gonna
right?
It's already
if,
short.
if they go
No, it's 2 games.
and I don't even know if you go 18 because I think 17 given
It's gonna give you
Some-
it's gonna give you the
Right.
it's gonna give you the two more buys.
yeah that's because think about
It's
it
gonna change the
like
math.
the teams that have or make the buys like a couple weeks later
Oh no,
Because the
I
team-
think they were talking about an additional buy.
because the teams that get the buy in week 5 think about it now you're playing from week
It's
5
crazy.
all the way to fucking
And then it's going to be hard when you play a
That's
Thursday night
nuts.
game.
yeah
You know,
No, I think they were
Coming off
talking about the
a
caveat of
three-day
inserting a second buy. But I'm talking about there'll be an
I
additional
just
buy
don't
for
like it
the
because I think it's for financial gain, and I think that's just more risk of injury asking these players making it through a
week
15,
after
16
week.
game
It
schedule
is
is hard enough.
nuts.
It's hard enough to make it through 17 games healthy. Now you want them to stay healthy for another game
Yeah.
at the expense of making more money. That's an owner's thing.
that's dumb man.
And the owners are saying, well, we're going to pay the players more.
Don't get me wrong I'd love to see it just because I love football
Yeah, me too,
Yeah,
but I just
that's
don't-
my thing. But you're right on that side of it.
Yeah,
It's not.
I
It's
don't
not.
like- I don't like.
It's not thinking. It's
we
not
go to the
considerate
playoffs
for the
and you're without a
players.
key cog in the playoffs. Derek's going through that.
Or
now.
5.
Yeah,
yeah or 9 guys on defense
yeah.
Attrition.
So, all right, it's
so let's talk about one more thing
what's that?
the Pro Bowl thing just came out.
Oh, I didn't. I just saw snubs. I didn't.
How does the guy that leads the league and he leads the league in picks, his
Joseph?
his cover rate is 91.5. He's on a winning team. How does he get snubbed from the Pro Bowl?
I couldn't tell you because
Some
I don't
crazy
even know who
snubs
got picked
going
in front
on.
of him, so I really can't offer
The
that.
kid from Green Bay and Hamilton.
Some crazy stuff
Who-
going on.
None of them have better numbers than
Hamilton from Baltimore.
no, not Hamilton.
He's on the AFC.
He's on the AFC.
Kyle Hamilton.
It was no Fitzpatrick's in the AFC as well, right?
Yep.
But it was
'Cause I saw them. The only thing I saw was Brian. posted
We
something
had
with the quarterbacks.
6.
3
I
on
think.
each
I think
conference.
we had 6, and I think there was 1 or 2 of them where I was like, but it is what it is.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's crazy, but I'm not mad. Well, I am mad, but it's like, how does that happen?
We'd have to see who got played. I have no idea who got picked in front of him.
In
But
front of
It's
him,
hard
yeah.
to make that argument.
It don't matter, honestly, if you ask me, because neither one of them are better.
We don't know.
Better numbers.
We can look up their stats and find out where they compare to him, but we don't know. They could have similar stats or better stats, but without knowing who got picked in
They
front
don't,
of him,
they don't
I
have
can't-
more picks.
All right, he leads the league in interceptions, but we don't know.
And a 91.5 cover rate.
Somebody could have a 96. I had posted the
No,
entire
there's
list
some
of
there's some political stuff that goes on there. Definitely.
Now you want to load. Any other time you go right into it.
Yeah, it's all. It's
All right.
it's
Until we find that stuff, we had one last category. Who was the best female athlete of 2004? Who was the best male athlete of 2004? And who was the best team of 2004? College, pro, whatever. Female athlete. Anybody have a lead on who they want their favorite female athlete to be? Who accomplished the most?
She's very. It's obscure. It's MMA world. She fights in the one tournament, the one league, one championship.
What did she do to make her considered the best athlete of 2024?
Well, I mean, she's a champion, right?
Is it Katie Harris or something like that?
No, her name is Stamp Fairtex. I mean, her fights are just insane.
But I haven't seen her in the media to like dig her up and say
Right.
she's had some astounding year that nobody else has had before. Or,
right.
So it's hard for me to picture her being considered over. I thought of 4 or 5 ladies that I thought were in the running with each other. You got to
Let's hear it.
All right, my pick is Simone Biles.
Okay.
Because of what she did in the Olympics.
Yeah.
And it was her second Olympics. And she had to come back from that fall where she lost her confidence. They call it the yips. Just like the basketball player for that the Celtics duped everybody on that went to Philly.
Right.
He had the yips,
Ben,
but
Ben,
Bios,
little Ben.
yeah, but Bios had to overcome that. There were so many distractions for her, and she won everything she was supposed to win. She set an all-time record for most Olympic medals. She was undefeated basically in everything she did, and it wasn't even close.
She's an incredible gymnast.
But people are going to say Caitlin Clark, but she didn't win anything.
That's a popular, yeah.
She was great for the sport of basketball.
Yeah.
Iowa didn't win in college,
Yeah.
and Indiana didn't win in the pros.
Right.
She had an individual great season because of what she meant for the game of women's basketball.
That's what she did.
There's
Yes.
there's
So
the
you
elevation.
have to
there.
consider her.
The contribution, the
Both-
individual
both
contribution.
college and the WNBA.
Yes. So
The
I
image
give,
thing, yeah.
I give her credit for what she accomplished. But a lot of times people say, well, you have to win something. But in this case, I think we make a little bit of an exception
Yeah.
because she dominated on the college level and the pro level
Right.
to standards that we haven't seen before.
Yeah.
So those are two of them. But do you guys have any other female athletes you can throw in the mix?
I was thinking Caitlin Clark just because of what she did for
Yeah.
the sport.
And-
What she did for
And that's
the
admirable.
thing for women's sport.
Yes,
Like,
she's elevated for every woman, no matter what they say, they'll all make more money because look at the TV contracts that came in.
Yeah.
Look at all the people getting sneaker deals. If Caitlin Clark wasn't there and the Aces would have won, I would have went for what's her name because she has 3 MVPs.
Reese?
No, for the Las Vegas.
Johnson?
No, Asia Wilson.
Asia Wilson.
Okay.
She would have had 3 titles in a row
Yeah.
because she won 2 titles in a row and 2 MVPs in a row.
Hmm.
She won MVP again this year, but she lost in the championship.
Right.
So if Caitlin Clark, if the Aces would have won, I would have said Asia Wilson, because you win 3 in a row and you win 3. That's like Jordan S type stuff.
Mhm.
But she did lose in the championship. But under the radar that a lot of people are going to forget, and I posted this on the page. Did you see the year Coco Gauff had?
Yeah.
She set a record for how much money was made.
Was it 30 million?
No, more than that.
Oh, what? Yeah, okay.
Like 300.
Okay. That was
Let me see.
missing a zero.
I want to be sure on it because I know I posted it.
I think it was 300 million.
300 million. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it said 300 million.
So
She's had an
but
amazing
tennis
career.
doesn't get
an amazing young
But
career.
nobody ever hears about her because the only time you ever really hear about her is in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Really. But she's been playing for a while.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the coverage isn't there like it was for Serena.
Mhm.
That's weird too. That is weird. And I mean, I had seen something of
But when it was Serena and Venus.
right.
So-
She got to play Venus and beat her. Serena would have liked to play her, and that would have been a sensational passing of the torch. I think it's kind of a half passing of the torch that she faced one of the sisters, but I mean, it's crazy. I'm really happy for her. It's a great accomplishment, and it should be bigged up more. There should be a lot more noise around it. I mean, tennis, it's had its heights and then it goes down. I mean, she could be a face, you know what I mean? She could be the face, I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe some political stuff that people wouldn't want to, maybe it's the atmosphere of, we don't want to elevate tennis or whatever is surrounding it.
Oh no, you're right. 2024 earnings 30,400,000.
Yeah.
Not enough people talking about this. Coco Gauff was the highest paid female athlete in 2024.
Yeah.
She earned an incredible 30. Now you got to remember, there's only about 8 to 10 tournaments for the whole year.
It's crazy. She's number 3 in the
You have
world.
to win high in order to get paid out. Like if you get knocked out in the early round, your money's not guaranteed. But I wonder if that includes endorsements. It has to.
It's earnings, so it's not like it's just.
Yeah, it just says highest paid, but that's kind of a gray statement. Like
Mhm.
it's not just from her winning, but obviously she must be an ambassador to the sports. All right, Simone Biles is the most decorated gymnast. Yes.
Yeah.
B-Mag, any other females that we're leaving out that would be in the running for best female athlete of 2024? Because college basketball had Caitlin Clark at the end of last college season. Then she went right into the WNBA. So there wasn't another college player that had a better game than her, and she had a great pro game. We got Coco Gauff in tennis, but I think between Caitlin Clark and Simone Biles, I can't imagine anybody else having a better year than either one of them two. But I'm just posing it out there to see if we're missing anybody. The other topics will get easier, but let's see if anybody else recommends. How about the guys? Who is the best male athlete of the year?
The best male athlete.
Now,
Individual
nothing really
athlete.
sticks out because of
Individual
like from an elevation standpoint. I mean, you got some players on the Celtics, but I don't think they elevated.
I would have to say that the quarterback from Baltimore Ravens.
Lamar,
From
MVP.
last year. That's my opinion.
But will people argue that Mahomes had the better year because he won the ship again?
Are we going team? Are we going?
Who just had the most successful 2024?
This is
Like
this is the male category.
the male
now.
category. Like who
Yeah,
was?
I know, but
What male athlete had the biggest influence on sports?
I wouldn't say the championship. I would say the MVP. If it was up to, if you're asking
So
for an individual, not because winning the championship was a team thing.
So would you pick him over Tatum?
Oh, you know what? Honestly, if it's Tatum and Mahomes, it is Mahomes.
Because
Yeah,
Tatum
it's
wasn't the
Mahomes.
MVP last year.
Yeah, it's Mahomes.
No, but
Of the-
he was.
of the M-
No,
NBA.
but
That was a team. There you go. That's a team thing because
it's
the
a
Celtics won.
team thing. But he had a great season. I'm just saying the whole contribution culminating with a championship.
Who won the MVP last
Lamar
year?
won the MVP, but
NBA.
didn't win a championship. I'm just making that difference.
Who won that? The
Jalen
MVP?
Brown, we know that.
No, the regular season MVP.
Otani.
There you go.
That was one of the two people I was thinking of.
Who won the regular season MVP for the NBA last year?
Wasn't Jokic. Embiid? No, Embiid was.
Brian, who won the MVP for the NBA last year? Something in my mind right now.
Luka? I can't remember who won MVP.
Joker.
Joker
was Joker.
won again.
Yeah.
So that's 3 years in a row for him. But he didn't finish it off
It
with
was
a
Joker.
championship. That's the same argument for Lamar.
Yeah, you're right. It doesn't.
But-
It doesn't.
Great
line
regular
up.
season, but you didn't get to the championship.
But so then
They lost
it would
two
line
rounds
up with
before
it would
the
line up
championship.
with Mahomes.
So
On that.
how do you feel about Otani? Because I think that's definitely one of the picks.
Yeah, I forgot about him.
The way, and he didn't even get the pitch this year, but he had an incredible year.
I forgot about him.
And he finished it off with the championship, which is why I give him the advantage.
And the crazy part about it, you can go Judge as well.
Except he beat Judge in the championship.
Right.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying
Yeah.
individuals. Because Judge had crazy stats.
He did. But Otani
Showing
had
Ohtani.
different stats. Like I've never seen somebody hit that many home runs and steal that many bases. Judge had a better batting average and
Yeah.
more home runs.
And
Right.
more RBIs.
But Otani had more runs scored. I mean, it depends what you consider.
They have better
For somebody to
categories.
have that much power and steal 50-something bases, like I was like,
No.
wow.
Trust me, I'm not shooting for Judge because
No, but Otani
his
was
stats
definitely
crazy just as well.
Yeah.
at the top.
Yeah, it
of
was
the
a
list.
race for a minute.
Is there anybody else you guys can think of in the world of sports? That was baseball. There's nobody in basketball that had a better year than Otani. Anybody in football? You think Mahomes is comparable to Otani? I just think
I would
Otani,
go-
a 50-50 guy.
I wouldn't even give it to Mahomes in the NFL.
All right.
I'd have to give it.
Well, I'm just saying, 'cause I'm going sport by sport just to see if we're missing anybody.
That's what I'm
Hockey? Nobody.
I don't really follow hockey anymore like that. But
Why do I want to say there was somebody in track and field, but not the 16-year-old kid? But
no, yeah, but he didn't even finish. He didn't get the goal in the 100.
yeah, that's right. He got beat. He ended up winning in his second best.
Noah
event.
Lyles.
Noah Lyles. Yep. I was thinking about him.
Oh no, he got the goal in the 100. He didn't get it in the 200.
Whatever one he was favored in, he didn't
The
get
200.
it. Yeah, because he was favored in 200.
Oh, you heard that?
Another guy slow in the 200. I'm not alone.
But how about in boxing or UFC? John Jones didn't fight enough. He only had that one fight, but he looked dominant. Canelo Alvarez.
He lost last year. Didn't
No, he lost 2 years ago
he?
to
Still, he didn't fight enough.
Bivol. But
He didn't fight.
Bertiev in boxing doesn't get the credit he deserves. He beat Bivol, who beat Alvarez. and he's undefeated. He's like 24-0 with 23 knockouts or something.
But
like that.
that fight that could have went either way.
It did, but he
That-
got
that
the
should've
nod.
That should have been a draw.
Either or.
That should've
He
been
still
a
beat
draw.
everybody else in front of him,
Yeah,
and the
no, no.
one guy we thought could beat him. So I think he deserves consideration. I still don't think he outdoes Otani. I think at the end of the year,
Well, then
Like
again,
Brock twice.
there's a profile of the sport.
but I don't think he's fighting the guys he should be fighting. I think he's avoiding a few people that, he just wants to keep. He's doing the Floyd Mayweather thing. I'm only going to fight if I have to fight him. But if I can get paid good money to fight a third or fourth ranked dude, I'll do that.
So why would he fight them guys if they ain't fighting nobody either?
Everybody's because he's the draw. He's the money bag. And everybody wants to fight him just like they want to fight Canelo because of the money grab. But Canelo's not fighting Benavidez and all them.
Damon brought up a good Saquon for them. Comparable season.
Well, I agree. The only problem, Dame, is his season's not over yet. He hasn't finished writing that story. He's having a great season. Now, if he goes on and wins the Super Bowl and he's like MVP of the Super Bowl, like Otani was, finished out the season with a win and great numbers and all that stuff.
He wasn't MVP.
I just said great numbers. I said he finished out with great numbers. I'm just saying Barkley, if he goes on to win the Super Bowl and ends up maybe Super Bowl MVP, that might give him the leg up because Otani didn't win MVP of the World
But I mean
Series.
that'll be decided in
Right, but we can only project that
couple
right
weeks
now.
or
Yeah, but we can read.
25.
That's a comparable.
right.
That's a comparable statement to make. It's just that story's not done being written.
But then again, do you forego that criteria just to look at purely the performance? You know what I mean? Just purely the
So let's
performance.
say
the
Saquon-
elevation of
So
you
now,
know.
are you put because you said male athletes in here, and then we're gonna do team male
Right.
male teams, male and female teams.
Or best team in general. It doesn't have to be male or female.
Yeah, but see, but now why are you saying? Well, Otani did it and won the World Series. He didn't win the World Series. The team won the World Series, so that would go with the team.
I'm just saying that's just another feather. in
Well,
his
the
hat.
team
He had a
winning,
great year.
yeah.
Judge had a great year. What's the difference?
his
That he
contribution.
led his team to the world. That's the only thing
Yeah.
Judge didn't do. Was lead his
the
team to a win in the
contribution.
World Series. They both got there. If Judge would have won, I would have been making the same argument for Judge. Is that fair enough?
Yeah.
I would have been making the same argument for Judge, but Judge had a horrible World Series. He had a horrible playoff. He didn't produce in the playoffs at all. Dame, that's a very valid point. But once again, it's going to be the 17th game, which gives him an advantage. But to me, he's already done enough. He's already done enough to be mentioned in that. But now if he advances to the Super Bowl and wins, now we're talking, yeah, he did something the same thing Otani did. And they both went to new teams to do it.
But still, but
Otani had to go
but if he
from-
wins the Super Bowl, that's this year.
Yeah, Brian's saying that counts as 2025 because the Super Bowl is February 8th or something like that.
14th or something.
Yeah, it's
Not
on-
14th.
Yeah.
12th or whatever.
Yeah, but it's in
The second
2025.
week of February.
Yeah, but it's in 2025. It's this season.
Right.
Team sport, because there's a bunch of different ones you can go with on this one. This one's not as hard as the men's basketball. I mean, the men's athlete of the year.
For me, I'm just gonna homer it out and say it's the C's.
Okay, but that's legit. Who do you got? Male or female? Team of the year. We got the Chiefs in
I
football,
don't know.
the Celtics in basketball,
I think
the
we're-
Dodgers in
I
baseball.
think we're going to UConn.
Ah, he stole my pick. I was trying to go last. The UConn men. You know why? They won it 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
They lost all their big stars after that first one, and they retooled and did it again.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not.
And I hate agreeing with this guy.
You're crazy.
I wish I should have wrote it down, but that's why I wanted you to go first because I thought about that last night. And there was I had the Celtics up there. You know?
If he didn't say something, I probably would have said something.
I wasn't thinking anybody was going to mention college, and I was trying to throw leads out there, but Derek ended up feeling the same way I did. And it's because of what they did for 2 straight years. They already had the bullseye on their back. They weren't going to sneak up on nobody, but they had the composure and the determination to do it not 1 year in a row, but 2 years in a row. You know how hard it is to repeat in college sports? And then you can't take away from the women's South Carolina team. Didn't they win it last year?
No, I don't think so.
I think they did.
South Carolina?
Yeah. No, I think they won the championship. Because Iowa got beat, LSU got beat.
I thought the team that beat Iowa in the final. Iowa was in the final four, right? The team that played Iowa in the final four, I thought they beat South Carolina.
No,
No,
it was 2 years ago that Caton Clark beat South Carolina, did the waving in the face. Last year, South Carolina came back and won the title. Because they lost the big girl to the WNBA last year, Boston. Aaliyah Boston.
so that's 2 years ago.
Oh no, Cardozo. They had the big girl, the Brazilian girl at center, but they won with her. So yeah, South Carolina females won, but they could be up there too. They usually don't have one dominating player, which is the problem they're having with Full Wiley right now. Is she was so dominant in high school because she was the main star all the time. Now she has to buy into the team concept, and that's rubbing Don Staley the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
So they had an issue where she got taken out of the game against USC
Well, see, that's
or
the.
UCLA
Yeah,
because
I kind of think that's
They played
the.
Iowa in the finals?
yeah,
I kind of think that's the story, honestly.
no, 2 years ago Iowa beat them in the Final Four. This year they advanced, but South Carolina beat them.
She coaches like with the same level of success that
And
she's
she
ever
has
played.
5 or 6. Full
That
Wiley
is
comes off
crazy.
the bench.
She's never not been a champion of anything. So she brings that to this team, and then they just yeah, definitely. I think that I would
She's-
definitely go with that.
But when I thought about it, I gave both the college teams, men's and women's. But the thing is, South Carolina didn't win it 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
UConn did. And I think that's an incredible accomplishment with the balance we got going on in NCAA right now.
Mhm.
The turnover that UConn had. Now they had a turnover again. They lost 3 more people last year.
Yeah.
You know, the kid that was a freshman, Castle.
It's a lot.
think he was
It's
gonna leave.
a little bit to come
He
back
left
from.
and was the number
Yeah.
4 pick. Klingon, the big dude that went to Portland.
It's a
They
little
both could have been back this year.
It's a little bit to come back from.
And now you got to keep retooling. So
you got to rotate new guys in to fill
get
the
them
spot.
used to the system. They got to be,
It's a tall order.
it is.
Especially you got
And
to
that's what
kind of
gives
have
me-
that by mid-season. You have to have them up to form that you need them to be.
But that's the only reason I give them the advantage overall.
Yeah, Celts. Yep.
I went back and forth with the Celtics and UConn.
I'm on the Celts, man.
The only
It's
reason
crazy.
I'm giving it to
Yeah, but
UConn over the
no
Celtics.
matter what, he would have been on the Celtics regardless.
I did qualify it, but
No, but it's a legit in this
yeah,
conversation. It's a legit point.
yeah.
But the thing that separates me from giving it to the Celtics is
The way
repeat.
the way they were winning these
The
games.
Celtics had
People
the
were like,
same
"Oh,
team.
you just didn't play anybody. You played Indiana, and you made them look like they didn't belong."
But I just think it was harder for UConn with the target on the bullseye on their back
Yeah.
and to do it. Remember, you only lose one game, you're out. In a series, you can have one bad game and still continue on. In the NBA,
But you got to do it seventh, or you got to
gotta
do
win
you got to
four
do
out
you
of
got to
three.
four
gotta play
times. You got to
better
do it
more
4
than you play.
times.
But if you have one bad game in the NCAA
No,
tournament,
I
men's
get
and
the- I
women's,
get
you're
the
all
one
done.
and done, yeah.
So they were able to string it together for 2 years in a row and go 6-0.
I think you can kind of go either way with that because you have to have some sort of stamina mentally to go through to win 4 games out of 7, especially when you're beating up back and forth, and sometimes a game 7 is really close, right? And it comes down to who wants it more. You know what I mean? Who wants it more?
You have to get to game 7.
No, I get that, but that's what I mean. But you have to have the stamina to even get there mentally. But the one and done thing does. I mean, there's the opposite part. You got to have your. You can't not have an A game or.
That game could be your last game. There's no coming
yeah,
back for game 2.
There's pros and cons to both. Yeah.
That's the only thing I think it's harder to do in college because of that. You're asking young people to play on a big scale, and you only got one chance to win. As soon as you lose, your season's over.
Yeah. Yep.
You could have been playing better out of anybody, and in a 7-game series, you might have won that series 4-1. But if you lose that first one, you're all done. So, was there anything else we're looking forward to this week? I see the 8 o'clock hour up there. I know next week's going to be a hell of a topic because we know.
Tony,
Goodness.
shut up. Your team sucks, bro.
Who's
Because
your
your team, San Fran, your team's hurt. I got more guys that are hurt than you did. Shut up, boy.
Actually, you guys are probably even. Both y'all are banged up, man.
But we had more guys hurt than the San Fran.
McCaffrey.
I would
backup
agree.
running
I
back.
would agree. He had
Man,
like half his
you-
defense obliterated
Your
too.
offensive linemen.
They've
That's
San
four
Fran
people
had
on offense
yeah,
alone.
but we talking about
we-
like
well,
8. You talk about
no,
6 to
Right,
8
I
players-
haven't
people.
got to the defense
Players
yet.
for players. We had
Greenlaw.
No, yeah.
for players, as many players as like
Yeah.
for numbers, we had more.
Especially
guys
on one side of the
You're
ball.
saying 8. I'm up to 5 right
Eight.
now.
I didn't say 8. I said we had 8 alone just on defense. That's starters.
Right.
That were starters.
No, for real.
And Montgomery
No, for
on
real.
defense on offense.
We had 8 alone.
Especially
that's
Aiden.
starters.
Especially Aiden.
And then we have backups.
I just know significantly they had a lot too, man.
we had
Their
way
whole
more than,
team.
we had more than them.
I think so. I think so.
It showed us that on the TV that we had more than them.
Oh, you know what I did want to bring to your attention that you should be happy with?
Tony, your team sucks again.
I'll give you the pleasure of revealing that stat.
San Fran is.
Oh no, I already knew that.
Yeah, but we talk about how high-powered the offense is for Detroit.
Yeah.
They accomplished something this year. The first team in NFL history to have 4,000-yard performers.
Yeah.
2 running backs and 2 wide receivers.
You know, it's funny
in one
because
season.
we were talking, we had a conversation last year. It was around a similar situation. Like they were threatening, right? They were all like above
we had-
800 yards or whatever.
We had 4 guys over 800 yards. We had
Yeah.
the tight end
Yeah.
had over 800.
He was probably
Yeah.
close to 1,000 yards this year. He
And
started slow.
Sonic and Knuckles were
Sonic. It's that Sonic and Knuckles. Gibbs was I want to say 60 yards short of 1,000.
yeah.
Montgomery had over
Montgomery.
1,000.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah.
my man had 1,500.
Wasn't much that they needed to do it last year.
No, but like
Maybe a game would
my
have done.
my tight end was less
Or another quarter.
He was less than 100 yards from getting 1,000. So
That's great. So that's a $1.60.
we were right there.
Isn't that? That's $1.60 away from. Sheesh.
We were all right there.
Yeah.
Oh, not we. They were all right there.
Yeah.
So
Quite an accomplishment. I would just easily just give it up and say that.
Tony, all you got to do is look it up, bro. It's not even close. You didn't have more guys out than we did. Sorry.
Well, because he's talking about they had guys out on offense and defense,
you don't know anybody but the 49ers.
once-
Why? That's all he knows. And
I
after,
feel
you
you
don't know
on that.
anything. You don't know anything else.
Something tells me if you lose this week, you'll have something to say next week. But if you win, we might not have any commentary. It'll be hard to criticize you if you win.
Yeah. He comes on at 8:00. We're supposed to be off already.
I don't know
That's
how
when he
you
comes
got
on.
that.
Hey, guess what, Tony? You're going home already. Have fun.
Oh.
Have fun watching my team.
Anything else you guys want to add? I know next week's going to be interesting, but I feel that growling happening now. I was like, I'm looking to go. There's no game to go home to tonight.
I mean,
so other than that, I don't have no reason to rush home. But man, I ran around before I got here and didn't eat. Now I'm like,
I get it. Famish, right?
yeah, man, I feel like I'm getting lightheaded. Like, you know, if you wait too long, then by the time you eat,
Yeah.
you can do nothing to help
You
you.
better follow him home. Make sure he gets home.
No, that'll be Sunday night, man. I might come down and watch the game and then drive right to school and park in the parking lot.
For real. Yo, that's us.
Set my alarm.
Just
get
don't
up.
let-
Kids be like, damn, it smells funny in here
He's
today.
gonna be all pissed off.
Remember this line.
We're not planning on
You're
it.
not gonna hear it
We're not
next week.
planning on it.
Just remember this chuckle, right?
Yeah.
We got it recorded. We got it on film. I'm gonna keep playing it back next week when I talk about what were the results of the game. Where's that decon chuckle?
Hey, and trust me, I'm gonna have a lot of pictures of you all angry.
Wait. I know what's
Mad.
gonna happen next week. Jonathan, his daughter's gonna have a last-minute cheering competition next Thursday night. And he's not gonna be able to make it. And that's the only excuse he can use that's legit. So I'm gonna call the wife to check the schedule so that he can't use that next week. There's an all-state Bears cheerleading
look.
championship at 6:00
You
next
guys
week.
got another loser on your rooting for your team. Another loser.
Welcome aboard, sir. Welcome
Another loser.
aboard. Welcome aboard.
Another loser.
We're gonna see. We're gonna see if he turn if Decon that
I'm
chair
sur-
might be empty. We might have to put a replica,
I'm
a
surprised.
wax figure in
I'm
there next
surprised you
week.
know how to spell Minnesota.
Jeez.
Who spelled it for you?
Google.
But yeah, man, let's take this up to next week.
All right.
Man.
Hey, everybody,
College
thanks
football
for tuning
playoffs.
in. We had some incredible dialogue. Once again, thanks, Jonathan Nobrey, for being a part of the show. We enjoy having you.
My pleasure.
Decon, it's I having you. You know, kind of sick of you already, though. But, you know,
Sorry.
I enjoy Jonathan being here anyway.
I'd be
Well, I'm going to
Stupid-
really enjoy
stupid
Jonathan
jersey.
this week if things go our way.
Take that stupid jersey.
All this bravado, man. If we have to let the air out of the balloon next week,
They're not going your way, bro.
Punctured.
I might be doing a show by myself next week, people.
oh, I'll be here no matter what. But if that chair next to us is not filled, don't be surprised. We'll just dress up a teddy bear with a Lions shirt on, and we'll talk for him. But guys, thanks for tuning in. You guys enjoy the weekend. Hope everybody had a safe and a happy New Year and Christmas. And we'll see you guys all next week. So until then, be safe and prosperous. See you next Thursday.
Peace.